Lu Jinxing probably never dreamed in her life that on the day of her graduation, she would, by a strange twist of fate, find a perfect settlement. Ziyue, Xiao, have you finished eating? Can someone pour me a glass of water? I'm dying of thirst. In her sleep, Lu Jinxing felt her mouth dry and tongue parched, her head heavy and muddled, and her whole body extremely uncomfortable. She tried to turn on her side, wanting to pound her incredibly sore lower back. As soon as she turned over, her hand pressed against a hard, yet warm wall of flesh. She thought, when did Ziyue get so muscular? No, this isn't her best friend Shin Ziyue. She, who liked to sleep with her head covered, hurriedly poked her head out of the covers. What met her eyes was a man's sexy Adam's apple. She strenuously shifted her body upwards, then saw a man's chiseled, naturally perfect handsome face. The man's deep eyes were like a fathomless cold pool, swirling with coldness, unfathomable, aloof, and distant. When he looked directly at her, the immense aura in his eyes was palpable. She couldn't help but shiver. What kind of godlike man is this? Lu Jinxing. Woo-woo. The Duke of Zhou is too good to me? Knowing I haven't had a boyfriend for over 20 years, he sent me a handsome guy in my dream. She tried hard to keep her eyes wide open, staring, afraid the dream would end soon and the handsome guy would disappear. Shuo Yu. So she was the woman from last night. This face looks a bit familiar, as if I've seen it somewhere. The main thing is that this woman had skin-to-skin contact with him, and his body didn't feel any discomfort at all. He quickly recalled what happened last night. Yesterday was the day he retired and returned home. As soon as he arrived at the station, his cousins invited him to their own hotel. After a lavish reception from his cousins, he was drunkenly escorted to a hotel suite to rest. Had enough looking? Chill. Don't talk. You'll scare away my dream lover. Hearing someone speak, Lu Jinxing quickly put her index finger to her lips, making a shushing gesture. Shuo Yu's face darkened. This woman isn't an idiot, is she? Heh, are Shuo Lei and the others so poor that they actually stuck an idiot with me? He reached out and lightly flicked Lu Jinxing's forehead. It hurts so much. Lu Jinxing covered her forehead, pulled back to reality by the pain. To her horror, she saw that the handsome guy from her dream hadn't disappeared. The man was looking at her. Their eyes met. You? Who are you? Why are you in my bed? She shot up from the bed, but after realizing she was stark naked, she frantically shrank back. She haphazardly grabbed the covers to wrap herself tightly, while her two calves continuously kicked the strange man lying beside her. I'm calling the police, woo-woo. Lu Jinxing sobbed helplessly. Shuo Yu scoffed coldly. Oh, so you're not an idiot after all? Stop acting. You weren't so reserved when you climbed into a man's bed last night. Now what are you pretending to be innocent for? Also, I'm not interested in women. Get out. Shuo Yu picked up the bed runner from the floor and wrapped it around his waist, then began to check every corner of the room, but found nothing in the end. Lu Jinxing watched the man searching all over the room, guessing he must be looking for something like a pinhole camera, because that's how it's always portrayed in TV dramas. She suddenly realized that even without clothes on, the man exuded an aura of noble dignity, pure and elevated beyond defilement. But this also told her that this kind of man was not someone she could afford to provoke. Shuo Yu squinted his eyes and walked to the bed, looking at the red marks covering Lu Jinxing's exposed neck and collarbone. His gaze was deep, his voice low. Not leaving yet? Then I'll give you a chance now. Tell me, was it Shuo Lei or Shuo Chang? Sir, I don't know what nonsense you're talking about. And I don't know any Shuo Lei or Shuo Chang you're talking about. Please don't take advantage of someone and then make excuses to slander them. Lu Jinxing glanced around the room. Her dress had been torn to shreds and scattered on the floor last night, and the room was filled with a lingering sense of intimacy. Her phone and bag weren't beside her. Not knowing what to do, she could only muster her courage and tentatively ask, Sir, could I borrow your phone for a moment? I'll ask my best friend to send over a set of clothes for me. Shuo Yu looked at the scattered fragments of clothing on the floor, then looked at the woman trembling in the covers, and his heart softened, saying, How about I have someone send them over for you? Otherwise, when your best friend comes and sees you like this. Shuo Yu deliberately left his sentence unfinished. Lu Jinxing pondered the man's meaning. She had inexplicably slept with a man, and if word got out, It would be bad for her reputation. So she could only nod in agreement. He wasn't that kind-hearted. Doing this was merely to confirm who had arranged for this woman. Shuo Yu picked up the phone and called Shunzi. Send an XS-sized women's high-neck outfit to Yunshua Grand Hotel, Presidential Suite 1119, right now. Shunzi, still half asleep, found it somewhat inexplicable, but he immediately caught on. Yo, Yu, what's going on? When did your misogyny get cured? Confess truthfully, quickly. Less nonsense, hurry up. Shuo Yu hung up the phone, went straight to the bathroom, and soon the sound of the shower could be heard. Lu Jinxing, wrapped in the quilt, curled up on the bed, crying sadly. At this moment, fragments of yesterday slowly emerged in her mind. This year's graduates of Shang University, due to certain irresistible forces, had their graduation photos delayed until September. Jinxing, hurry and change out of your master's gown. Let's go to Yunshua Grand Hotel for a good meal together, to celebrate us finally graduating. Zhuang Xiao, holding a large bouquet of flowers, said to her with a beaming smile. Yeah, Jinxing, we're just waiting for you. Xiao and I have both changed our clothes. It's my treat tonight. We won't go home until we're drunk. Shun Ziyue echoed Zhuang Xiao. Shun Ziyue was Lu Jinxing's best friend. Because both their mothers were also best friends, they had known each other since they were in diapers. Later, when they went to university, Lu Jinxing and Zhuang Xiao, who was in the same dorm room, became good friends, and so the three of them gradually became good friends. She remembered the three of them coming to Yunshua Grand Hotel together. In the private room Shun Ziyue booked, they happily ate, drank, chatted about their university days, and fantasized about the future. It was Lu Jinxing's first time drinking alcohol, and after 2 drinks, she was already a bit tipsy. Shun Ziyue opened a room for her, letting her go rest first. When she woke up, it was the scene from just now. Just as she was thinking, Shuo Yu had already finished showering, dressed, and walked out of the bathroom. She lowered her head and curled up in the covers, not daring to look at him again. This man was too handsome, but dangerous. Knock, knock, knock. The door to the suite was knocked on. Shuo Yu strode out to open the door, buttoning his cufflinks as he went. As soon as the door opened, Shun Zi darted in. He handed the tote bag to Shuo Yu, with a mischievous smile, saying, Hey you, what's going on? When did your misogyny get cured? Confess truthfully, quickly. Shuo Yu's face darkened, and he said in a low voice, Go wait for me in the study. I have something to tell you. Seeing Shuo Yu's chilling gaze, Shinzi reluctantly went to the adjacent study. Shuo Yu, carrying the clothes, turned and entered the bedroom. He placed the tote bag on the bed and said with an indifferent aloofness, Go take a shower and change into these clothes. After speaking, he turned and left the bedroom, and the bedroom door closed behind him. After Lu Jinxing saw the bedroom door close, she quickly ran into the bathroom, wrapped in the quilt and carrying the tote bag with the clothes. After locking the bathroom door from the inside, she slowly removed the cool quilt wrapped around her. Looking at the red marks all over her body, Lu Jinxing was filled with regret. If only she had known she couldn't hold her liquor, she wouldn't have drunk it. Not only did she feel terrible after drinking, but now she had also lost a woman's most important chastity. Woo-woo. She cried and rinsed her body over and over again, only feeling that she had let down her mother's admonitions. In the study, Shuo Yu held a cigarette between his fingers, his newly washed hair still dripping with water droplets. The September temperature in Chongqing was still in the 20s Celsius, yet a chilling aura emanated from him. With a deep and gloomy gaze, he said, Zi, help me thoroughly investigate what Shuo Lei and Shuo Cheng did last night. Yu, as soon as you return, you investigate your cousins. Wouldn't it be bad if your grandmother found out? Anyway, you didn't suffer any loss last night. Don't tell me it was your first time. Shinzi sat on the sofa, blowing perfect smoke rings, and chuckled. First time. For Shuo Yu, it was somewhat unspeakable. He suffered from gynophobia, but last night, that woman, so soft and boneless, with skin like congealed fat, and red lips framing white teeth, had made him surrender without any defense. Even now, those passionate scenes from last night still filled his mind. Seeing Shuo Yu in a daze, not speaking, Shinzi suddenly became interested. No way. Yu, was last night really your first time? Shuo Yu snapped back to reality, His cold gaze, like a sharp sword, pierced Shenzi's heart. In Shangqing, the Shuo family and the Shun family were the most prominent of wealthy families. The biggest difference between the Shun and Shuo families was this. The Shin family had excellent family traditions, always adhering to ancestral rules, with the eldest son and grandson managing the family business. Therefore, the Shin family never experienced internal strife among brothers, petty disputes, or operating solely for profit. The Shuo family, however, ever since an unknown generation, had been plagued by disputes over family management, with those below following the example of those above, leading to generations of fierce power struggles for control. Shenzi was a descendant of the Shun family's second branch and didn't have to inherit or manage the family business, so he was free to do what he liked and develop his own career. If I don't investigate this time, next time they won't just drug me and put a woman in my bed as simply as they did last night. They were probably just testing me last night, wanting to see how I would react. Shuo Yu finished speaking, stubbing out his cigarette fiercely in the ashtray. Shenzi was stunned. You mean, they started plotting against you last night? I thought they were giving you a consolation gift. Shuo Yu didn't answer, merely walking quickly out of the study. He needed to go and ask that woman from last night again, to see if he could find out from her whether it was Shuo Lei or Shuo Cheng who had arranged for her. Seeing the bedroom door already open, he strode in. The girl had already left. Pulling back the covers, he was startled to see a smear of bright red left on the sheets. While he was lost in thought, Shunzi spoke from behind him. It seems those two brothers treated you well. They even sent you a virgin. Get lost. The two prepared to leave. As soon as Shuo Yu opened the door, he saw the girl standing at the doorway, holding up her fist. Is she here to fight back or what? Lu Jinxing lowered her head, her face flushed, and said, I'm sorry, I accidentally went into the wrong room last night. These are for your compensation. With that, she stuffed a stack of red notes into Shuo Yu's hand, turned, and ran off. Shuo Yu. Shenzi, standing behind Shuo Yu, wanted to see what the girl looked like, but only caught a glimpse of her retreating back. Jinxing. Shuo Yu what? I said that girl looks like my sister's best friend, Lu Jinxing. Is that so? Then why aren't you hurrying to ask your sister to confirm? Also, did Shuo Lei or Shuo Cheng really find her last night? Investigate thoroughly and report back to me this afternoon. I need to go back and accompany my grandmother now. I'll treat you to coffee this afternoon. Shuo Yu patted Shunzi's shoulder, then waved the stack of money Lu Jinxing had just put in his hand and quickly left. Shunzi's face was a picture of bewilderment. What was going on? It was the first time he'd seen a man sleep with a woman, and the woman pays him. At the hotel entrance, several bodyguards from Orange Garden had been waiting for a long time. Seeing Shuo Yu emerge, two bodyguards respectfully stepped forward. Young master, the old madam is waiting for you at Orange Garden. Let's go. Yes, young master. Subsequently, the Rolls-Royce and several commercial vans kicked up dust and drove away. Lu Jinxing, covered in red marks, didn't go home immediately. She took out her phone and called her nanny. Mama Chung, I'm staying at my classmate's house for the next 2 days. Didn't I just get my master's degree yesterday? I'm finally free. I want to relax for a few days. Okay, miss. I understand. I'll tell the master when he gets back. Thank you, Mama Chung. You're welcome, miss. Just make sure to take good care of yourself while you're staying out these few days, okay? Mama Chung. I'll take care of myself. Lu Jinxing's eyes welled up as she heard her nanny's reminders. Ever since her mother, Lu Wanfei, passed away, the only person in the family who truly cared for her was this nanny. The nanny was the Lu family servant, Cheng Shuwen. Lu Wanfei had no breast milk after giving birth to Lu Jinxing. Lu Jinxing, at that time, wasn't used to drinking formula, and coincidentally, Cheng Shuwen had recently given birth, so Lu Jinxing started drinking Cheng Shuwen's milk. From then on, Cheng Shuwen became Lu Jinxing's personal nanny. The kind-hearted Cheng Shuwen, to ensure Lu Jinxing had enough milk to drink, weaned her own daughter when she was only 5 months old. Because of this, Cheng Shuwen's daughter suffered from poor gastrointestinal function for a time, which consequently led to poor health later on. In gratitude, while old Master Lu was alive, he moved Cheng Shuwen's entire family to Shangqing and even gave them an apartment from the group's properties to live in. From the time she began to babble, Lu Jinxing called Cheng Shuwen Mama Cheng, and as she grew older, she treated her like a real family member. At the current Lu family villa, the Lu family's former servants had largely been bought off by the Qin family. Aside from Cheng Shuwen, who genuinely cared for her, she was constantly wary of everyone else. She was now like an orphan with relatives. After calling her nanny Cheng Shuwen, Lu Jinxing arrived at the Shun family's villa. Shun Ziyue wasn't awake yet, and Aunt Zhang, the housekeeper, opened the door for her. "It's Miss Lu. Come in quickly, the young lady isn't awake yet." Aunt Zhang enthusiastically welcomed Lu Jinxing into the Shun family's villa. Because Lu Jinxing had visited frequently since childhood, everyone in the Shun household was quite familiar with her. "Thank you, Aunt Zhang." Lu Jinxing thanked her politely. Since she was very young, her mother, Lu Wanfei, had taught her to respect everyone around her and to treat others with the most basic courtesy. Therefore, she had always been polite and considerate towards the servants around her. "You're too kind, Miss Lu." "Madam, Miss Lu is here." "Oh, Jinxing is here. Come quickly and sit with your godmother." Zhao Yinru beckoned affectionately to Lu Jinxing. Godmother." Lu Jinxing obediently and politely walked over and sat beside Zhao Yinru. "Sister Zhang, go wash some fruit for Jinxing and bring over the sweater I knitted a few days ago for Jinxing to try on." "Yes, madam." Zhao Yinru's greatest hobby was knitting. As a wealthy madam with nothing much to do at home, she loved knitting all sorts of woolen items. She knitted so incessantly that the storage room at home couldn't hold any more. Later, Shun Ziyue's father, Shun Changfeng, had someone open an online store for his wife, specializing in selling all sorts of knitted products she made. It's said that even the cheapest sweater Zhao Yinru knits now sells for over 10,000 yuan. My goddaughter is getting prettier and prettier." "Oh, come on. Godmother, don't tease me." Lu Jinxing's pretty face flushed shyly. "Jinxing, godmother knitted a new sweater with a new pattern for you a few days ago. Try it on in a bit. You can wear it when the weather starts to get cooler. I'll also knit you a woolen skirt. As for gloves, scarves, and hats, I already have some in stock from before, so I can just get them for you then," Zhao Yinru said to Lu Jinxing with warmth and care. Lu Jinxing hugged Zhao Yinru gratefully. "Thank you, Godma. You've knitted so many clothes and accessories for me over the years. I will definitely be as devoted to you as Ziyue is in the future." "All right, you sweet talker. But Godmother will be waiting for that day," Zhao Yinru said with anticipation. Sister Zhang quickly brought over a plate of washed fruit, along with the sweater. Zhao Yinru said eagerly, "Jinxing, quick, try it on. Do you like it? As long as it's from Godma, Jinxing will love it." As she spoke, Lu Jinxing had already slipped the sweater on. The size is just right. And this cream color suits you well. Our Jinxing is getting more and more beautiful," Zhao Yinru said, lavishing praise on the well-behaved girl before her. Praising your goddaughter again. Mom, you praise her so much you could send her to the moon. But with me, your own daughter, you're always so sparing with your words. If you ever praised me the way you praised Jinxing, I'd think the sun had risen from the west," Shun Ziyue said as she walked down the stairs from the second floor. "That's right. I'm praising my goddaughter. What about it? You have a problem with that? My goddaughter is well-behaved and obedient. And you? All you do every day is get on my nerves. Also, look at Jinxing. She's already graduated with a master's degree, while you've only just finished your bachelor's. And you're half a month older than her." Yes, you're right about everything, old lady." A great person doesn't hold grudges against the petty. Forget it. I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm going to eat my bird's nest soup. Otherwise, I'll get old and ugly like you." "Shun Ziyue, you little brat. Who are you calling old? Who are you calling petty?" The mother and daughter bickered back and forth. Lu Jinxing, as always, played the peacemaker, comforting the elder and then the younger one. "Godma, don't be angry. I'll help you get revenge later. My goddaughter is the best. You go have some bird's nest soup too. Godma stewed it early this morning. We'll be even more beautiful after we eat it." Zhao Yinru's heart ached for her goddaughter. So even if she didn't eat bird's nest soup herself, she had to make sure Lu Jinxing had some. "Jinxing, hurry up, or I'll eat your bowl too," Shun Ziyue shouted, tapping her bowl with a spoon. "Coming." "Ziyue, are you really jealous? Or is there a bomb in that bird's nest soup? Why are you acting like you've swallowed gunpowder? Lu Jinxing said with a grin, sitting down next to Shun Ziyue. Shun Ziyue's face darkened. Just eat. After you're done, come to my room. I have something to tell you. Lu Jinxing quickly finished her bowl of bird's nest soup. Godma, I'm going to Ziyue's room now. Lu Jinxing said to Zhao Yanru as she went upstairs. Zhao Yanru looked up and nodded at Lu Jinxing with a smile. After Lu Jinxing entered Shun Ziyue's room, Ziyue immediately and mysteriously locked the bedroom door from the inside. Lu Jinxing asked, confused, Ziyue, why are you locking the door? What do you need to tell me? What do you think? Where did you run off to last night? Xiao and I came to find you in your room after dinner, but you were nowhere to be seen. We thought you had gone home by yourself, and you weren't answering your phone. Just now, my brother called and asked if you were at the Yunshuo Grand Hotel last night. Tell me right now, where on earth were you last night? Shun Ziyue blurted out all her questions in one anxious breath. Ziyue boo-hoo. Thinking about what happened that morning, Lu Jinxing hugged Shun Ziyue and began to sob. Seeing Lu Jinxing in tears, Shun Ziyue held her tightly and comforted her. Jinxing, don't cry, just tell me slowly. Did someone bully you last night? Yes. I only realized when I woke up this morning. Ziyue, I lost my virginity. Boo-hoo. Then why didn't you call the police? You can't let the person who hurt you get away with it. Lu Jinxing said through her sobs. I wanted to call the police at the time, but then I realized. I had gone into the wrong room. After you two put me in my room, I don't know what happened, but I must have dazedly wandered into that man's room. She thought to herself, this was mostly my fault to begin with. Besides, a scandal about losing my reputation wouldn't be good for me, especially if my family found out. So I can only accept my bad luck. It's not like I was planning on getting married in this lifetime anyway. Her mother's failed marriage had given her a negative view of matrimony. So you're just going to let the person who hurt you go? Shun Ziyue felt both guilty and furious. Lu Jinxing remained silent. Jinxing, I'm so sorry. If I had known, Xiao and I never would have left you alone in that room. Then this wouldn't have happened. I'm really sorry. Lu Jinxing shook her head. Ziyue, don't blame yourself, it's not your fault. It's okay, he was a really handsome guy. Losing my virginity to a guy that good-looking isn't such a raw deal. Seeing Shun Ziyue blaming herself, the ever-optimistic Lu Jinxing turned the tables and started comforting her best friend. You lost your virginity, and you're still so optimistic. A handsome guy? More handsome than my brother? My mom always says I'm too carefree, but I don't think you're any better than me, Shun Ziyue said, a smile breaking through her tears. Lu Jinxing's face darkened. Hee, it seems he really was more handsome than Brother Z. Shun Ziyue. By the way, Ziyue, I've only told you about this. You have to help me keep it a secret, especially from my grandma. Otherwise, she'll start cursing out my maternal grandfather's entire ancestry again. And I'll stay at your place for a few days. I'll go home after the red marks on my body have faded. Yeah, I know. My home is your home. You can stay as long as you want. As for that dilapidated place of the Qin family, it would be better if you never went back. Shun Ziyue said indignantly. That's the Lu family villa. My maternal grandfather left it to me. It's not a dilapidated place. Thinking of the Qin family, and her grandmother Li Ruhua who favored boys over girls, gave Lu Jinxing a headache. She had never been favored by the Qin family, so she had always lived at her maternal grandfather's house. Later, after old Master Lu passed away, Li Ruhua persuaded her son, Qin Wansheng, to move the entire family into the Lu family villa under the pretext of taking care of Lu Jinxing and her mother. Afternoon, at the Shuyan Jian coffee house. The autumn sun was warm and tranquil, its gentle rays filtering through the coffee house's glass windows. Shuo Yu, sitting at a window booth, took a sip of his mocha and put it down. So, have you found out everything? Sitting across from him, Shun Zi's sharp brows furrowed slightly. I've got it all figured out. The girl from this morning really is my sister's best friend, Lu Jinxing. Last night, she went to the hotel with my sister and another university classmate to celebrate her graduation with a master's degree. She got drunk, so my sister specifically booked a room for her to rest. I've already pulled the hotel's security footage. It seems she got up in the middle of the night, dazed, and walked into the wrong room. That's why you two. Also, about the girl Shuo Yu arranged for you. While she was changing in the dressing room, her hair got caught in the zipper of her dress, and it took her a long time to get it out. Seeing that time was running out, she asked one of her friends to go to your room first. But that friend got pulled away by an old client. By the time the original girl got her hair sorted out and came to your room, you and Jinxing were already asleep together. She thought Jinxing was the friend she had sent over, so she didn't think any more of it. Shuo Yu breathed a sigh of relief after listening. So that's how it was. I was drugged by Shuo Yu and the others back then, and I couldn't control myself. What's even stranger is that when that girl approached me, my body didn't show any repulsive reaction. Z, do you think it might have been the drug's effect? Shuo Yu had always suffered from misogyny. Apart from female relatives, if any other woman came close to him, he would break out in a rash all over his body and feel extremely uncomfortable. Shinzi shook his head. I don't know about that. But poor Jinxing. She's a pitiful girl to begin with. Shuo Yu picked up his coffee again and took a sip. Tell me about it. Shinzi, about what? Tell me about that girl named Jinxing. All right. Shinzi slowly began to recount things about Jinxing. Jinxing's mother and my mother are best friends. They seem to have met during a prenatal checkup at the hospital. Then they were hospitalized together and gave birth to their children, my sister and Jinxing. Later, the two often exchanged little tips on raising children and gradually became close friends. Oh, and Jinxing even calls my mother godmother. After that, as my sister and Jinxing slowly grew up, they also became little best friends. Jinxing is both fortunate and unfortunate. Shuo Yu interrupted Shinzi. What do you mean, both fortunate and unfortunate? The fortunate part is, of course, that her mother was born into a wealthy family, and her maternal grandfather doted on her especially. The unfortunate part is that her father's family disliked her, simply because she was a girl. So from the day she was born, she was not well regarded by the Qin family. Shuo Yu was puzzled. Prioritizing sons over daughters? What era is this? Indeed, what era is this? Yet such patriarchal thinking still exists. But Jinxing was born into a family like that. Jinxing's father's surname is Qin, and his name is Qin Wanqing. For some reason, Qin Wanqing actually became a live-in son-in-law for the Lu family back then. According to the Qin family's patriarchal views, it would have been impossible for Qin Wanqing to be a live-in son-in-law. Outsiders said that Qin Wanqing saw the Lu family's immense wealth and business, and Jinxing's mother was an only daughter, which is why Qin Wanqing married into their family. Later, after Aunt Lu gave birth to Jinxing, the Qin family saw that Jinxing was a girl, so they made a nice agreement. The first child would take Aunt Lu's surname, Lu, and the second child would then take the Qin surname, Shuo Yu. The Qin family certainly conducts their affairs flawlessly on the surface. What happened next? Then, for some reason, Aunt Lu never got pregnant again. My mother said, perhaps Jinxing's paternal grandmother was up to something. Otherwise, Aunt Lu, being so healthy and still so young, couldn't possibly keep failing to conceive. After Jinxing's maternal grandfather passed away, that old woman started brazenly finding women for Qin Wanqing everywhere. She also cursed Aunt Lu daily with many unbearable words, like calling her a hen that doesn't lay eggs, or saying she was occupying a spot without doing anything. Finally, a woman named Du, heavily pregnant, brazenly moved into the Lu family villa under the old woman's arrangement. Aunt Lu was greatly affected by this. Then the couple argued daily, which eventually led to divorce proceedings. Not long after, Aunt Lu developed severe depression. Shuo Yu said with some sympathy, I think your Aunt Lu was too weak. Otherwise, how could she have been bullied so much by her husband's family? Shinzi sighed and continued. Yes, my mother also said Aunt Lu was too weak. Fortunately, Jinxing's maternal grandfather had foresight. Before he passed away, the old man entrusted the Lu group to a professional manager and transferred all of the Lu family's assets into Jinxing's name. He probably had long since not thought highly of Qin Wanqing, so he made these plans in advance for Jinxing. This elder Lu was indeed very far-sighted, Shuo Yu praised. How is Lu Jinxing's mother now? Now? Aunt Lu committed suicide by jumping from a building when Jinxing was only 15. My mother said that ever since then, Jinxing has had nightmares every night. These past years, Although Jinxing lives in her own house, she has been living dependently under others' roofs. That's why I said Jinxing is so pitiful. Actually, when we were little, my mother and Aunt Lu joked and even arranged a child engagement for us. I guess Jinxing wouldn't agree now. Cough, cough, cough. What did you say? Shuo Yu choked on his coffee and coughed nonstop after hearing Shenzi's words. Shenzi quickly explained. You, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean anything else. He just genuinely felt sorry for that poor young girl. My apologies. After hearing all this from you, I feel I should be responsible for her. On one hand, if she marries me, the Qin family wouldn't dare bully her anymore. On the other hand, you know my grandmother keeps pressing me to get married, and now that I'm back, she's constantly making me go on blind dates. Rather than that, I might as well marry a girl I know well. Shuo Yu had already made up his mind when Shenzi confirmed that Lu Jinxing was Shun Ziyue's best friend. Hearing about Lu Jinxing's misfortunes later on from Shenzi only solidified his idea further. This girl named Jinxing seemed to have stirred a man's protective instincts towards a woman. Do you know what you're saying? I do. I plan to marry Lu Jinxing. Shuo Yu said seriously, looking at Shenzi. Don't you have misogyny? Jinxing is already pitiful enough. If you make her have a sexless marriage, wouldn't her life be even more unfortunate? Didn't I just tell you? I don't repel her. Maybe she's the one destined for me. And bro, can you stop making sex sound so important? Shenzi's face was lined with exasperation. Shuo Yu looked at Shenzi and asked, or do you think I'm stealing your woman and have an issue with that? Huh? That's not what I meant. Anyway, I used to think it would be a good deed to rescue her from the Qin family. Now that you're doing it, I'm relieved. Shenzi thought. Asterisk, what else could he say to his sworn brother? As long as Lu Jinxing lives well in the future. Asterisk. In that case, take me to Lu Jinxing now. Huh? Now? Isn't that a bit too hasty? Shenzi asked in surprise, unsure of what Shuo Yu was thinking. Shuo Yu chuckled. Have you heard the saying, strike while the iron is hot? I'm striking while the iron is hot to get a wife. Shenzi's face was lined with exasperation, typical of someone who got a good deal and still brags about it. Let's go. Once this is settled, I'll give you 10 more percentage points of our company's shares as compensation later. The company isn't even a sure thing yet, and you're already giving me an empty promise, huh? You have to believe in yourself. It's only a matter of time, isn't it? Besides, we've been brothers for so many years. When have I, Shuo Yu, ever treated you poorly? One more thing I need to ask of you. Don't tell Lu Jinxing my true identity for now. Shenzi asked, puzzled. What kind of act are you pulling now? Just do as I say. Yes, young Master Shuo. I'll call my sister first and ask where Jinxing is now. Shenzi said, dialing his sister Shun Ziyue's number. Hey, Xiaoya, I'm going to pass by your favorite cake shop in a bit. What do you want to eat? I'll bring it back for you. Wow, my brother is the best. Bro, I want strawberry mousse and strawberry towel rolls. Oh, and 2 portions, by the way. Jinxing is staying with us for a few days too. Thanks, bro, love you. Before Shenzi could ask, Shun Ziyue rattled off everything. After hanging up, Shenzi looked at Shuo Yu and said, my sister said Jinxing is staying at our house for a few days. It seems she doesn't want her family to know about last night's incident. Shuo Yu. So, I should take even more responsibility for this, shouldn't I? After the two went to Shun Ziyue's favorite cake shop and bought many desserts that little girls love, they went directly to the Shun family villa. Shun Ziyue and Lu Jinxing were sitting on the lawn in front of the villa, basking in the sun. Lu Jinxing used her fair, slender hands to shield the sun, as gentle breezes blew through her dark hair. Streaks of sunlight filtered through her fingers, scattering onto her beautiful and captivating cheeks. Everything was so tranquil and wonderful. Standing some distance away, Shuo Yu looked at Lu Jinxing in that moment and felt a sense of familiarity again. His body hadn't moved, but his heart had already slowly drawn closer to her. Go call Lu Jinxing out for me. I want to talk to her alone, Shuo Yu said to Shenzi, who was standing beside him. Okay, then talk to her nicely. If she doesn't agree, I hope you won't force her. I have it under control. After Shuo Yu finished speaking, he turned and walked to the jeep. Shuo Yu, 187 centimeters tall, was slender and imposing. He had a cigarette in his mouth, and in the sunlight, he exuded even more masculine charm. Shenzi, carrying the desserts, walked towards the two girls, Ziyue, Jinxing. Lu Jinxing saw Shenzi walking against the light and quickly stood up to greet him. "Hello, Brother Z." "Hey, Jinxing, it's not your first day knowing my brother. Why are you so polite with him?" Shenzi said with a laugh, taking the desserts from her brother's hand. "Do you think Jinxing is like you? You didn't learn proper manners growing up. Let's see if your in-laws don't despise you when you get married." Shenzi made a face at Shenzi. Shenzi shook his head helplessly, then said to Lu Jinxing, "Oh, right. Jinxing, someone's looking for you at the gate. Go take a look." Lu Jinxing was a bit surprised. "Looking for me? Could it be Annie Chung?" Shenzi also found it strange. Why would someone come to the Shen family to look for Lu Jinxing? And why didn't they come in? "Brother, do you know who's looking for Jinxing outside? It's not a bad person, is it?" Shenzi, it's the big bad wolf." "No way, I have to go out and see. I can't let Jinxing get hurt." Shenzi's heart ached remembering Lu Jinxing's experience last night. Shenzi quickly grabbed his sister's wrist. "All right, this is the Shun family villa. Would a bad person dare to do bad things here? Unless he's got something wrong with his head. Besides, they didn't come in. Maybe they felt it wasn't convenient to say something at our house." "Shuo Yu, Shenzi, are you calling me crazy?" Lu Jinxing walked to the villa gate and saw Shuo Yu standing next to the jeep. "You, how did you find your way here?" Lu Jinxing's body trembled slightly as she looked warily at the man in front of her. "Don't be afraid. I'm here to apologize to you. Last night, I was set up by my cousin at the hotel. They drugged my drink, and by a twist of fate, I ended up hurting you. I'm sorry, Miss Lu." Shuo Yu was such an arrogant and cold man, yet when he faced the girl in front of him, all his arrogance and coldness vanished. All that remained was endless tenderness in his heart. He himself found it very strange. "How do you know my surname is Lu? And you said you were set up by your cousin?" Lu Jinxing asked, confused. "I know your surname is Lu because I'm Zi's friend. And yes, I really was set up by my family last night. If you don't believe me, you can ask Z. He helped me investigate the full story of what happened. An hour ago, when he told me the investigation results, he also told me a bit about you." Lu Jinxing. I didn't expect him to be set up by his family. Thinking about how she had lived in fear with the Qin family for years, even worrying about her grandmother poisoning her water, Lu Jinxing, recalling her own experiences, said softly, "Let it be. Let's not talk about the past. Let's both forget it. You can go." After Lu Jinxing finished speaking, she turned to leave, but Shuo Yu called out to her, "Miss Lu, is there something else?" Shuo Yu glanced at his wristwatch. There was still time. "Let's talk in the car." "Huh? Why do we need to talk in the car? There's no one else here. We can just talk here." Lu Jinxing maintained a safe distance from Shuo Yu. Shuo Yu saw Lu Jinxing's wary expression and gave a wry smile. "Please rest assured, Miss Lu, I won't hurt you." Lu Jinxing blushed with embarrassment. He was Zi's friend, so he shouldn't be a bad person. She felt like she had just judged a gentleman with the heart of a villain. After a moment of hesitation, Lu Jinxing still got into Shuo Yu's car. "Seatbelt. Where are you taking me?" Lu Jinxing was confused but still slowly fastened her seatbelt. Shuo Yu started the car and sped directly towards the Civil Affairs Bureau. "Oh right. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Shuo Yu. Shuo as in the Shuo from Master, Soasher, and Yu as in the Yu from Wenwen Yu Yu. I'm 28 years old, 187 centimeters tall, weigh 78 kilograms, am in good health, and have no family genetic diseases." "Huh? Mister?" Shuo usually introduces himself like this. Lu Jinxing watched Shuo Yu holding the steering wheel, rattling off his self-introduction nonstop. She was very curious if there was something wrong with this man's brain. What normal person introduces themselves like that? "Don't look at me like that. My brain is fine, IQ 240. This is the first time I've introduced myself like this, and of course, it'll be the last," Shuo Yu said with a half-smile. Lu Jinxing. Shuo Yu continued to introduce his situation. "My parents passed away in a car accident over 10 years ago. I was raised by my grandmother. I just retired from the military and came home yesterday." After Shuo Yu finished explaining his situation, Lu Jinxing looked at him with her beautiful peach blossom eyes. Shuo Yu thought she was about to ask him something. If you have any questions, just ask. Huh? I'm not interested in you. I just want to call Ziyue. Otherwise, she'll get worried if she doesn't see me later. Shuo Yu's face clouded over. Oh, then make the call. I'll take you back after we're done. Done. Lu Jinxing's face instantly flushed crimson, and her hands involuntarily tightened their grip on the seatbelt. Shuo Yu looked at Lu Jinxing's flushed face, knowing she must have misunderstood, and said, "Don't misunderstand. Don't get the wrong idea. You make your call first." After hearing Shuo Yu's explanation, Lu Jinxing's anxious heart settled down again. Lu Jinxing dialed Shun Ziyue's phone. Before she could even speak, an anxious voice came from the other end of the line. "Jinxing, where did you go? Are you okay?" "Ziyue, I'm fine. You don't need to worry. I'm going out for a bit. I'll be back soon." Shun Ziyue confirmed. "Are you really okay?" I'm really fine. Don't worry. I'll be back in a bit." "All right then. Be careful. I'll wait for you to come back and eat cake together. Bye." Ziyue, bye." Lu Jinxing then hung up the phone. Just then, Shuo Yu's voice echoed in her ear. "We're here." Lu Jinxing was unbuckling her seatbelt. "Here? Where is this?" "The Civil Affairs Bureau." "CI Civil Affairs Bureau? What did you bring me to the Civil Affairs Bureau for?" Lu Jinxing buckled the unbuckled seatbelt back up. "What a silly girl. When a man and a woman come to the Civil Affairs Bureau, it's naturally to get a marriage certificate. Don't you know the scope of work of the Civil Affairs Bureau?" "So you were introducing yourself to me just now because you were planning to get a marriage certificate with me?" Lu Jinxing was utterly confused by Shuo Yu. "That's right. I'm not out of my mind. Why would I randomly pull someone over and give them such a detailed self-introduction?" But Lu Jinxing's mind raced, organizing her words. But before she could speak, Shuo Yu interrupted her. "Stop with the buts. I'm doing this to take responsibility for what happened last night. Also, Zi told me a bit about your family situation. You probably need to find someone to marry right now to get rid of the Qin family. Anyway, my grandma has been pressuring me to go on blind dates and get married, so I think we're a good match. Of course, you don't need to worry about your property. We can do a prenuptial agreement before we get the certificate." That's not what I meant. It's just that I haven't planned on getting married in this life." Lu Jinxing spoke her true thoughts. "Is it because your mother married the wrong person, so you have a fear of marriage?" "It's not a fear of marriage, but that's just how I'm thinking right now. And we don't even have the most basic understanding of each other. To just get married, isn't that a bit too much?" Lu Jinxing's mind was a mess. She felt she had never been so incoherent with her words. After all, her university major was translation. Before studying this major, she had undergone various training and studies in language emergency skills and language organization abilities. Since it's not a fear of marriage, but just that you're not planning to marry now, you'll still consider it later, won't you? So, since you'll consider it anyway, why not just get married now? That way you save yourself the trouble and brain power of thinking it over and over again. Let's go. Get out of the car. Don't hesitate. Seeing Lu Jinxing's hesitation, Shuo Yu finished speaking and directly got out of the car. He walked around to the left side of the Jeep, opened the car door, and then leaned in to help Lu Jinxing unbuckle her seatbelt. At such close proximity, he actually didn't show any misogyny, which proved that his body truly didn't reject her. Shuo Yu once again confirmed this. So his non-rejection of her last night wasn't due to the effects of the medicine, but a genuine lack of repulsion. He thought it was impossible to be with a woman in this lifetime, but he never expected her to appear. Lu Jinxing, sitting in the passenger seat, watched Shuo Yu's series of actions, her whole body stiff with nervousness, her hands even lifted helplessly in bewilderment. "Is this a surrender? Are you going to get down and walk yourself, or should I carry you in?" Shuo Yu said playfully, looking at Lu Jinxing. I'll get down myself and walk." Then come down." Shuo Yu's Jeep was quite high, so he extended his hand to her. Lu Jinxing originally didn't want to take his hand, but the car was too high, and her skirt was short. If she just jumped down, she would definitely expose herself. So, she could only bite the bullet and take Shuo Yu's hand to get out of the car. "Thank you." "You're welcome. We'll be family soon." Lu Jinxing. "Let's go. I've already arranged things inside. We can go directly in and process it. It'll be done quickly. I don't have my documents. Lu Jinxing suddenly thought of something and blurted out. Shuo Yu smiled and said, It's okay. I didn't bring mine either. Lu Jinxing, is that even allowed? And he's already made arrangements? Is his biological father the director of the Civil Affairs Bureau? Oh, uncle. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Finally, Lu Jinxing reluctantly followed Shuo Yu into the Civil Affairs Bureau's certificate hall. The hall was divided into two sides, left and right, for marriage and divorce services respectively. The hall was crowded with people of marriageable age from different age groups. However, the right side, for marriage services, was mostly young couples, while the left side, for divorce services, was mostly older couples. Shuo Yu took out his phone and made a call. Hello. I'm here. Where are you? From the other end of the line came a gentle, jade-like male voice. I'm behind you to your right. Shuo Yu hung up the phone and turned around. A handsome man wearing gold-rimmed glasses was waving at him. He pulled her and quickly walked over. Cousin, long time no see. Long time no see. After that, the two men shared a hug. After the hug, Shuo Yu said to the man, Cousin, let me introduce you. This is Lu Jinxing, my future wife. Jinxing, this is my cousin Shangwan Yao. Lu Jinxing gracefully extended her hand. Hello, Mr. Shangwan. Shangwan Yao also very gentlemanly extended his right hand and shook Lu Jinxing's hand. Hello, Miss Lu. This way, please. Shangwan Yao humbly and politely led the way for them. They followed a long corridor directly to the photography room. Shangwan Yao smiled and patted Shuo Yu's back, saying, Ayu, you two take pictures here first. I'll go help you retrieve your household registration information. Okay. Masterly. Thank you for your trouble. Shangwan Yao turned and said to the photographer in the studio, Director Shangwan, you flatter me. This is within my scope of duty. Photographer Masterly humbly and politely responded to Shangwan Yao. Lu Jinxing. He really does have a director as a relative. Please sit here, both of you. Lu Jinxing smiled. Thank you, Master. You two are very well matched. It's been a long time since I've photographed a couple as good-looking as you two. The photographer instantly started flattering them profusely. However, their looks indeed surpassed many others. All right, you two. That fast? Shuo Yu asked in disbelief. The photographer smiled and said, with such high endure, good looks, even a casual shot turns out like a blockbuster. You can come over and take a look first. If you're not satisfied, we can retake them. Lu Jinxing curiously walked over to look at the photos in the camera. In the photos, Lu Jinxing had flowing black hair, exquisite makeup, and smiled sweetly and happily. Shuo Yu's handsome face was unparalleled, and his eyes gleamed with deep affection. Wow. Master, your skill is amazing. These must be the best ID photos I've ever taken so far. Lu Jinxing exclaimed, looking at the photos they had just taken. The photographer said with a beaming smile, You flatter me, miss. It's because you two have sweet affection, are both very good-looking, and are photogenic. That's why the photos turned out so beautiful. Shuo Yu looked at the photos, a slight smile playing on the corner of his lips. Shangwan Yao walked over, holding a few sheets of paper in his hand. Ayu, are the photos done? Wow. You two really are a perfect match. You can even make ID photos look uniquely beautiful. But Engineer Li also deserves a lot of credit. Ayu, you'll have to give everyone red envelopes later. Okay, no problem. Shuo Yu replied readily. Engineer Li, thanks. We'll go on to the other procedures now. Director Shangwan, you're too kind. I wish the newlyweds a happy marriage and a long life together. Shuo Yu and Lu Jinxing quickly thanked the photographer. Led by Shangwan Yao, the two went directly to Shangwan Yao's office. Have a seat. Ayu, Miss Lu, please fill out these forms first, then sign in the bottom right corner. Shangwan Yao handed them several personal information sheets. Just as they finished filling out the information, Shangwan Yao's secretary brought in 2 cups of tea. You two can sit in my office for a while and have some tea. I'll just go get 2 stamps. Shuo Yu. Okay, thanks for your trouble, cousin. Lu Jinxing. Thank you, Mr. Shangwan. It's no trouble at all. If aunt and uncle were still alive, how happy they would be to see you two get your marriage certificate today. Shangwan Yao sighed and walked out. Jinxing, did you fill in the wrong age on the form just now? Shuo Yu tilted his head and asked Lu Jinxing. Lu Jinxing shook her head. 23. No, that's right. I am 23 this year. I heard Ziyi say you already graduated with a master's degree. How are you only 23? Oh, that's because I skipped 2 grades. Just then, Shangguan Yao's secretary walked in again. Both of you, please come over here to take the oath. Huh? We have to take an oath? I've sworn an oath when I joined the Young Pioneers, when I joined the Communist Youth League, and when I joined the party. I didn't expect to have to take an oath for marriage too. Marriage? I'm married. Lu Jinxing was confused for a long time, feeling like she was only just waking up. That's right. We're married. You're not going to deny it, are you? Shuo Yu said, looking playfully at Lu Jinxing. Do we have to take the oath? If you don't wanna, we can skip this part. Lu Jinxing and Shuo Yu looked at each other. Let's go. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing anyway. Shuo Yu smiled when he heard this. Is that a promise? Lu Jinxing, huh? What? Nothing. Let's go. Let's take the oath. The two stood on the oath platform, holding the oath book, and loudly recited their marriage vows. The secretary secretly recorded their happy moment on her phone from below. Oh, have you finished the oath already? Come. Look, these are your marriage certificates. I wish you a happy marriage, a long life together, and many precious children soon. Shangguan Yao handed the 2 bright red booklets to them and sincerely blessed them. Thank you, cousin. Thank you, mister. Shangguan. Hey, sister-in-law. You should start calling me cousin now. Upon hearing Shangguan Yao's words, Lu Jinxing's face immediately flushed down to her neck. Shuo Yu looked at Lu Jinxing's shy appearance and smiled at Shangguan Yao, saying, All right, cousin. Don't tease her anymore. She's thin-skinned. We have all the time in the world. Tell grandma, uncle, and aunt that I'll go see them another day. Okay, you're already protective of her so quickly. Remember to treat me to a meal when I'm off work. Shangguan Yao laughed. Definitely. Well, we'll be going now. We won't disturb your work. See you another day? All right, then I won't see you off far. See you another day. The two walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau side by side. Mr. Shuo, am I really married? But why do I feel like I'm dreaming? Lu Jinxing asked, holding her marriage certificate and turning it over and over, looking at Shuo Yu beside her. Miss Lu, yes. We're married, and I am now your husband, both legally and in reality. Shuo Yu said, putting his right arm around Lu Jinxing's shoulder. Lu Jinxing tried to distance herself, feeling a bit uncomfortable. To be honest, I'm still dazed right now. So, Mr. Shuo, can you promise me one thing? What is it? Let's get in the car first. Shuo Yu said, already opening the car door for Lu Jinxing. After Lu Jinxing got in the car, she looked at the serious-faced Shuo Yu, quickly organizing her thoughts. She tentatively asked, Can we have a secret marriage? Shuo Yu, a secret marriage? Do you think I have nothing now and am not presentable? Lu Jinxing quickly explained. Mr. Shuo, no, that's not what I mean. It's just that things happen so quickly, and I don't want my father's side of the family to know I'm married. Otherwise, they'll definitely try every possible means to seize the property my grandpa left me. I truly don't look down on you. Really, of course. Everyone is equal. No one looks down on anyone. But my cousin already knows we're married. I guess my uncle, aunt, and grandmother probably know by now. And I also have to go back and tell my paternal grandmother. Otherwise, what if she keeps forcing your husband to go on blind dates every day? Well, how about this? You can tell your family. As for my relatives and friends, let's not tell them for now, okay? Lu Jinxing said after a moment of thought. Shuo Yu asked with a poker face, Then what identity will I have by your side? Why would you stay by my side? We're husband and wife. Do you want us to separate as soon as we get married? Lu Jinxing asked in astonishment, her almond eyes wide. We have to live together too. After thinking, she added, Well then, for now, how about you act as my boyfriend? My maternal grandpa bought me a large flat in the city center as a wedding home before, so why don't you move in first? The door lock password is my birthday. This password was set by my maternal grandpa. If you find it hard to remember, you can change it. Shuo Yu, what about you? Aren't you moving in with me? Let me think about it first. Lu Jinxing suddenly felt like she had dug a pit for herself. How long do you need to think? Shuo Yu pressed. Lu Jinxing. Mr. Shuo, can we sign an agreement? What agreement? Tell me. First, that we are currently in a secret marriage. Second, we are just living together for now, so when we live together later, we need to sleep in separate rooms. Asterisk Shuo Yu. Haven't we already slept together? Why are you being so coy now? Asterisk. Third, in the future, if you meet a woman you like, you must notify me in advance. We can get a divorce immediately, and you're not allowed to cheat on me. Even though we're in a secret marriage and outsiders don't know, I would feel disgusted inside. Of course, I won't commit marital infidelity either. Shuo Yu's face darkened. Asterisk. It seems she is indeed deeply affected by her parents' marriage. Asterisk. Lu Jinxing finished stating the 3 clauses in one breath. Done. Does that count as laying down 3 rules? You can add to them. I have nothing to add. Let's just go with what you said. Okay, I'll organize it later and get your signature. Shuo Yu. The jeep drove smoothly on the road, and both of them were silent. The atmosphere in the car was unusually strange for a moment. How about I call you Xinger from now on? Shuo Yu suddenly noticed a hint of sadness flash in Lu Jinxing's eyes. Whatever. Only my maternal grandpa and mom used to call me Xing. After they left, no one ever called me Xinger again. Lu Jinxing suddenly felt a wave of sadness wash over her. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. But I still want to call you Xinger. Lu Jinxing looked blankly at Shuo Yu. It's okay, call me whatever you like. It's just a name anyway. Are you returning to the Shun family villa now? Yes. I have so many red marks on me. I'm afraid the Qin family will see them when I go home and cause trouble. Lu Jinxing's face flushed again as she spoke. Shuo Yu quickly explained. I'm sorry, I hurt you. It's in the past. Mr. Shuo, how are you planning your work? Shuo Yu. I'm currently planning to start a small business with some friends. A small business? Do you need funds? I can give you some. Shuo Yu. Giving me money again? Does she think I'm a kept man? Thank you. I didn't expect you to be so generous. But I don't need it for now. When I retired, the army compensated me with a resettlement fee, which is basically enough for my startup capital. Besides, you gave me 10,000 yuan this morning. Lu Jinxing smiled, recalling how she had rushed to give Shuo Yu money that morning. Shuo Yu looked at Lu Jinxing, whose face was blossoming with a smile, and suddenly felt a pang of guilt. Was it good for her to be dragged into his already unsettled life? He had previously asked Shenzi to help him conceal his identity because he wasn't sure if that identity would last long. If he couldn't win against Shuo Lei and the others, he would eventually become an ordinary civilian. Rather than experiencing a drop later, it was better to start as a civilian now. Alright then. If you encounter any financial problems in the future, you can always tell me. There's no need to shoulder it alone. Hearing about your experiences just now, I feel we might be the same kind of people. We have family, yet it's as if we don't. Life is full of calculations and traps, so let's walk the path ahead together. That way, we won't be too lonely. Lu Jinxing said with a touch of sadness. Alright. It was already rush hour, and cars flowed like a river on the road. People who had worked hard all day rushed towards their warm little homes. All the streetlights slowly lit up, and colorful lights spilled onto the road. From a distance, the streetlights on both sides of the road looked like they were adorned with shimmering gold jewelry, clothing the pedestrians in beautiful, sparkling garments. She envied the people rushing on the road, just as they envied her life as a pampered young lady, adorned in finery. In truth, only they themselves knew how well they were truly living. Xinger, we're here. What are you thinking about? Shuo Yu's magnetic voice came from the driver's seat. Lu Jinxing was pulled back to reality by Shuo Yu's voice. And nothing. I'll go now. Wait a moment. Give me your phone. What for? Although puzzled, she obediently handed over her phone. Lu Jinxing also found it a bit strange. It had only been a few hours, yet she felt much closer to the man in front of her. Shuo Yu took Lu Jinxing's phone and pressed a few buttons. All right. My number has been saved for you. Send me the house address whenever you can. I'll be going back to my old family home to see my grandmother these 2 days. Then I'll move in. Okay. I'll send it to you as soon as I get back. No sooner had she finished speaking than he had already opened the car door for her. Likewise, he extended his hand to her. This time, Lu Jinxing didn't hesitate, supporting herself on his hand as she slowly got out of the car. I'll go in first, Lu Jinxing said, then walked into the Shun family villa's gate without looking back. Watching Lu Jinxing's receding figure, Shuo Yu couldn't help but recall the vague figure in his mind. Lu Jinxing entered the Shun family villa, and Nanny Zhang enthusiastically opened the door for her. "Miss Lu, you're back? Come in quickly and wash your hands. Dinner will be ready soon." Thank you, Aunt Zhang." She changed her shoes and had just reached the entrance garden when Shun Ziyue, huffing with anger, dragged her away. "You rascal, I waited for you all afternoon to eat cake together." "Humph. Where on earth did you go all afternoon?" Ziyue, I'll tell you when we get back to the room." Lu Jinxing was wondering how to tell Shun Ziyue what had happened that afternoon. Zhao Yanru walked down from upstairs and called out, "Jinxing is back? Go wash your hands quickly. Dinner's ready." "Oh, okay, godmother. I'll go now." "Ziyue, go upstairs and call your dad and brother down for dinner. Don't just bully Jinxing all the time." Zhao Yanru admonished her daughter, watching her tugging on Lu Jinxing. "Jinxing is back." Shinzi also came downstairs, a suit jacket draped over his wrist. Brother Z. Zhao Yanru looked at her son holding the jacket and asked, "Dinner's about to start. Are you going out?" "Yes, I just got back, didn't I? I'm planning to start my own business, so I'm going out now to discuss the specific plans with friends." "Do you need to be in such a hurry? Didn't your eldest cousin say he could arrange for you to manage a branch of the group company? Or you could go to our own company and let your dad arrange a more relaxed position for you. Why do you insist on starting your own business? Don't you know how difficult it is to start a business now? Z, why don't you reconsider?" Zhao Yanru earnestly advised her son. "Mom, I've already spoken with Dad, and he supports me starting my own business. Besides, side branches of the Shun family can't get involved in the Shun family's main industries. It's not good for you to talk about these things with cousin. Don't do that again in the future. Moreover, I'm grown up now, and it's time for me to go out and make my own way. Maybe your son can even carve out his own little world someday." "All right, Mom. My time's up. I really should go. I'll chat with you again when I have time." Shinzi finished speaking, changed his shoes, and hurried out of the house. Zhao Yanru could only sigh behind him, muttering to herself, "Everyone says a grown daughter can't be held back, but why is it the same when a son grows up? Godmother, Brother Z is already grown up. You don't need to worry. As the saying goes, a man's ambition lies beyond his home. With Brother Z's intelligence and talent, he will surely achieve something great in the future," Lu Jinxing said, holding Zhao Yanru's hand to comfort her. "That's right, Jinxing is correct. Wife, don't trouble yourself unnecessarily." Shin Chongfeng's voice sounded from behind. "Godfather." Lu Jinxing greeted Shin Chongfeng politely and obediently. Jinxing, it would be great if you could get rid of that god-prefix someday. Ha ha ha, let's eat." Lu Jinxing's small face instantly flushed crimson upon hearing Shun Chongfeng's words. She looked at Shun Ziyue, bewildered. "Husband, what's the rush? I haven't even told the children yet. Look, you've made Jinxing embarrassed. Let's eat first. I'll talk to the children properly about this later." Zhao Yanru smiled, looking at Lu Jinxing's flushed cheeks. Lu Jinxing felt particularly uncomfortable during this meal, always sensing that something was off. Fortunately, Shun Ziyue dragged her away from the table early. "Godfather, godmother, please take your time eating. Ziyue and I are going back to our room." Before returning to her room, Lu Jinxing politely and thoughtfully greeted Mr. and Mrs. Shin Chongfeng. Zhao Yanru nodded with satisfaction. All right. Go on. I'll have Zhang Ma send some fruit up to you later." After Lu Jinxing went upstairs, Shin Chongfeng said to Zhao Yanru, "This child is really good, well-educated and well-mannered, with a good academic background, and she's well-behaved. Wife, you need to quickly talk to our son. I'm just afraid you'll be too slow and lose such an excellent daughter-in-law." Of course I know. But Z just retired, didn't he? I was hoping they could spend some time getting to know each other and develop their feelings during this period. It's up to you to arrange it. They're both at marriageable age. Anyway, the sooner we settle this matter, the sooner we can retire early and travel the world. Shuo Yu. Uncle and aunt, you two are indeed too slow. Xinger is already my wife. In Shuo Yu's jeep. Yu, where did you take Jinxing this afternoon? Shinzi asked, exhaling perfect smoke rings. Guess. Shenzi extinguished the cigarette but held between his fingers. Tell me if you want to, otherwise forget it. What? Are you that bothered about her? Shuo Yu's hand gripping the steering wheel tightened. They were brothers by oath, bound by life and death. If Shenzi cared about Lu Jinxing, it would inevitably affect their brotherhood. Shuo Yu appeared calm, but his heart was already a mix of emotions. Although Lu Jinxing was still a stranger to him at the moment, he always found a sense of déjà vu about her. Moreover, his body didn't reject her, so he probably wouldn't let go of Lu Jinxing. Shenzi pondered for a long time before slowly speaking. Yu, I already told you about Jinxing's predicament this afternoon, and last night she was just a scapegoat. So, no matter what you think, I hope you can let her go. Let's just pretend last night's events never happened. Let her go? It seems it's already too late. Just then, the red light at the intersection turned green. Shuo Yu stomped on the accelerator, and the car shot out like an arrow from a bow. What do you mean it's already too late? Because we already got our marriage certificate this afternoon. Shenzi was stunned. What? Impossible. You're not telling me that you only said you'd take responsibility for Jinxing this afternoon, and now you've actually registered your marriage with her, have you? Is that so surprising? Isn't flash marriage popular in society these days? And when have you ever known me to joke around when I speak? Here, this is the marriage certificate. Fresh out of the oven, still warm. Shuo Yu said, pulling a bright red booklet from his pocket and handing it to Shenzi. Forget it, I don't want to see it. The atmosphere in the car instantly grew silent. Shenzi suddenly felt like a deflated balloon. He suddenly regretted helping Shuo Yu confirm Lu Jinxing's identity. He couldn't quite put his finger on his feelings for Lu Jinxing. When they were little, he treated her like a younger sister, like Shenzi Yue, yet somehow different. Later, as they grew older and entered adolescence, he would help her ward off classmates who admired her. He would help her get food. During holidays, they would live together for the entire summer or winter break. When they were a little older, she blossomed into a graceful young woman, and he grew into a handsome and dashing man. When they met, he would feel a little awkward, and she would blush shyly. It wasn't until he graduated from university and joined the army that their meetings reverted to the relaxed and pleasant atmosphere of their childhood. This afternoon, after returning to the villa, he spent a long time steeling himself mentally. Although he still couldn't quite get over that hurdle in his heart, he felt he could essentially ensure her future happiness. After a long pause, Shuo Yu said, "It seems you do care about her. Yu, I don't know what to say to you. Since you've already registered your marriage, I hope you treat her well from now on. Don't worry, I will. Let's go to Yunxiao's place. We won't stop drinking until we're drunk tonight." Meanwhile, Shenzue stood by the bed, hands on her hips, saying fiercely yet cutely, "Classmate Lu Jinxing, if you don't give me a proper explanation tonight, this young lady here won't let you sleep." Lu Jinxing burst into laughter, looking at Shun Ziyue's angry expression. "Yes, Miss Shun. This humble one will explain everything to you, one by one. Come sit down first." After Shin Ziyue sat on the bed, Lu Jinxing whispered into her ear. "What? He actually dared to openly come looking for you. You." Shun Ziyue hadn't finished speaking when Lu Jinxing reached out and covered her mouth. "Hush, Ziyue, can you keep your voice down? Do you want your whole family to know about my business? Don't I have any face left?" Shin Ziyue quickly apologized. Sorry. I was just too angry. But why didn't you turn back and call me then? I was originally going to follow you out, but my brother stopped me. What happened after that? He came to apologize to me very sincerely. He also told me that he was targeted by his cousin in the family. And Zigu also knew about this matter, because he had even asked Zigu to help investigate it. Lu Jinxing spoke about everything with an air of indifference, as if she wasn't talking about her own affairs, but someone else's misfortune. "What? You mean my brother already knew about this?" Shin Ziyue asked in astonishment. Shin Ziyue thought. Dad and Mom were still talking about that matter tonight, but I didn't expect the unexpected to come so suddenly. Now it just depends on what my brother thinks about this. Lu Jinxing kept twiddling her fingers, a habit she always had when she had something on her mind. "Jinxing, you don't have something else you haven't told me, do you?" After all, they had been together since they wore diapers, and Lu Jinxing's slightest secret couldn't be hidden from Shin Ziyue. Lu Jinxing continued to hesitate. She was afraid that if she told Shen Ziyue about getting the marriage certificate, Shen Ziyue would immediately explode in anger and then grab a 3-meter-long saber to settle accounts with Shuo Yu. But if she kept it from her, and Shen Ziyue found out later, she might get even angrier and even break off their friendship. Just as she didn't know what to do, Shen Ziyue's phone rang. Who is it? Who's calling at this hour? Seriously, Shen Ziyue grumbled, picking up her phone to look. My brother. Why is he calling me now? Answer it quickly. Maybe Ziyue has something urgent he needs you for. Shen Ziyue answered the phone. Hello, Ge. From the other end of the line came Shen Zi's gentle voice. Xiaoya, are you two asleep yet? If not, could you and Jinxing come out for a bit? It's so late. Why should we come out? Shen Ziyue asked, puzzled. It's urgent. I need your help. I'll send the address to your phone right away. Hurry up. Shen Zi hung up the phone, then sent the address of Su Yunxiao's apartment to his sister's phone. He glared at Shuo Yu resentfully. This is all you're doing. Don't you know that what you've done will turn our household upside down? Huh? Your family, besides you, has so many. Shuo Yu couldn't help but laugh halfway through his sentence. Bah, it's all because you made me angry. All right, Zi, Su Yunxiao interjected, trying to reason with Shen Zi. At the end of the day, you didn't really steal your woman, did he? After all, Lu Jinxing wasn't exactly your woman before this. And from what you just told us, you mostly treated her like your younger sister, coupled with some pity for her experiences, so your feelings are a bit complicated. But it definitely wasn't romantic love, was it? Shen Zi naturally understood. His feelings for Lu Jinxing were more of pity and tender affection. The reason he called his sister was because he thought she could help when his parents brought up the arranged marriage again in the future. He also knew how persistent his parents were about this matter. Shen Ziyue loved driving fast. In less than an hour, she had blazed from the Shun family villa, over 100 kilometers away, to Su Yunxiao's apartment. Ziyue, taking someone else's car costs money, but I think taking your car is going to be the death of me. Lu Jinxing quipped after getting out of the car. Although she had been riding in Shen Ziyue's car for several years, she was still terrified every time. Heh, the person who dared to meet a rapist alone this afternoon. Are you still afraid to ride in my car now? Shen Ziyue's anger hadn't subsided, so her words were a bit snide. The two took the elevator directly to the floor of Su Yunxiao's apartment. Lu Jinxing pressed the doorbell, and to her surprise, Shuo Yu opened the door. Xinger, Shuo Yu called out. Lu Jinxing. Where's Big Brother Z? Inside, Shen Ziyue, who was walking behind, was momentarily stunned to hear this handsome, unfamiliar man call Lu Jinxing Xing. In her impression, besides Grandpa Lu and Aunt Lu, no one else called her best friend by that pet name. Jinxing, who is he? Shen Ziyue had a bad feeling. She grabbed Lu Jinxing's arm and asked. He's called. Shuo Yu saw Lu Jinxing's nervous demeanor, stepped forward confidently next to Lu Jinxing, and introduced himself to Shen Ziyue. Hello, my name is Shuo Yu, and I am Xinger's husband. Lu Jinxing hadn't expected Shuo Yu's introduction to be so direct. She quickly explained to Shen Ziyue. Ziyue, calm down first. Let me tell you slowly. Husband, you're not that rapist who abused Jinxing, are you? Shen Ziyue could no longer hear Lu Jinxing's explanation. With a forceful tug, she pulled off her crossbody bag and wildly swung it at Shuo Yu, continuously cursing. Although Shuo Yu was battle-hardened, he had never experienced such an all-out attack from a woman. He hurriedly dodged, saying, Miss Shen, it's a misunderstanding. Could you please stop hitting first? Let us slowly explain. Who wants to hear your slow explanation? You beastly scoundrel. How dare you abuse my Jinxing? I'll beat you to death today. Shen Ziyue cursed, but her hands didn't stop. Lu Jinxing, behind her, tried to pull her back, but couldn't stop her. Meanwhile, Shen Zi and Su Yunxiao were hiding on the balcony, watching the show. A sudden cry of pain came from Lu Jinxing, seeing blood flowing from Lu Jinxing's forehead. Shuo Yu angrily shouted at Shen Ziyue. Miss Shen, that's enough. Then, he quickly ran over, concerned. Xinger, what's wrong? Were you hit? His voice was full of a chilling warning that made one shiver. But then, looking back, he was so gentle towards Lu Jinxing. Z, did you see that? That is what caring looks like. Look at you. Do you feel anything now? So, Don't worry about Au treating Lu Jinxing badly in the future. Su Yunxiao used to be the campus heartthrob in college and had been around women for many years, so he was very accurate at judging people's emotions. Shenzi heard Su Yunxiao's words and suddenly understood. You're right, I really get it now. Thanks, brother. Go get the first aid kit quickly, otherwise, we'll be in trouble later. Before Su Yunxiao could even find the first aid kit, Shuo Yu had already picked up Lu Jinxing and walked out of the apartment door, simply leaving the three stunned people in the apartment with one sentence. I'm taking her to the hospital. The three. Su Yunxiao put the first aid kit back in its place, shrugged, and said, See? That's what caring looks like. Shun Ziyue, holding her bag, stood rooted to the spot, stunned for a long time before she came back to her senses. Brother, tell me, what exactly happened? How did that rapist become Jinxing's husband? Xiaoye, don't keep calling him a rapist. His name is Shuo Yu, and he is indeed Jinxing's legal husband now. Did Jinxing tell you what happened last night at the hotel? After Su Yunxiao's recent explanation, Shenzi was now able to face the matter calmly. He also trusted Shuo Yu's character. As long as Lu Jinxing lived well in the future, he would be at ease. Shun Ziyue nodded. Actually, last night Jinxing just accidentally stumbled into the wrong room, and Shuo Yu had been drugged and plotted against by his cousin at the time, which is why that happened. After the matter was thoroughly investigated, Shuo Yu told me he would take responsibility for Jinxing. So he immediately apologized to Jinxing, and with Jinxing's consent, they went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get their marriage certificate. Lu Jinxing. He didn't ask for my opinion. He just dragged me straight to the Civil Affairs Bureau. So, they are now legitimate husband and wife. Jinxing married that. Shuo Yu. Yes, that's right. Sai? So what kind of person is he exactly? Brother, you're at least half like an older brother to Jinxing. You can't push your sister into a pit of fire. Since things had already come to this, Shun Ziyue could only let it be. Since Jinxing had already agreed, what could she, as a best friend, do? She suddenly felt a sense of a grown child can't be governed by its mother. She was just still worried about Lu Jinxing, fearing that she might, like her mother, marry the wrong person. Don't worry, Shuo Yu was my university classmate. After graduating, we became comrades in arms. He's very capable. In the military, he was my and Yunxiao's superior. He has a clean family background, and also, Jinxing won't have to worry about mother-in-law conflicts in the future. Shuo Yu's parents both passed away 18 years ago. Shenzi finished speaking and let out a deep sigh. Shenzi suddenly felt that Shuo Yu's life hadn't been easy either. At 10, both his parents had passed away. Born into such a prominent family, he had to constantly be on guard against those so-called relatives around him from a young age. Otherwise, he could easily lose his life. From this perspective, Shuo Yu and Lu Jinxing's fates were somewhat similar. Therefore, Jinxing's agreement to get the marriage certificate with Shuo Yu was probably also due to a degree of shared empathy. As Shun Ziyue listened, she suddenly started crying sadly. Wu. Shenzi was utterly bewildered. Ziyue, why are you still crying? I just feel that Jinxing's life is so bitter. She never had the love of a father and mother since childhood, and I was thinking that after she became my sister-in-law, our parents would dote on her even more. But now, it's turned into this situation. I really regret dragging her to the Yunshua Hotel to celebrate last night. Otherwise, things wouldn't have come to this point. Whoa. I'm the one who harmed Jinxing. Miss Shun, you don't need to blame yourself too much. Lu Jinxing and Au marrying doesn't necessarily mean they won't be happy. Just look at Au's actions when he saw Lu Jinxing get injured earlier. You can tell he cares about her very much. Moreover, your brother's feelings for Lu Jinxing are not romantic love. So even if they were forced to be together, it wouldn't mean Lu Jinxing would be happy and joyful. Although Miss Shin and your parents are very fond of Lu Jinxing, that's just familial love and friendship. Shouldn't a woman have romantic love in addition to familial love and friendship? And your brother might not be able to give her that love. Su Yunxiao, who had been mostly silent until now, meticulously analyzed everything for Shun Ziyue, point by point. So you know a lot about this? Shun Ziyue asked, looking up at Su Yunxiao. Of course, I'm an expert when it comes to relationships. Shun Ziyue looked at the equally handsome man before her, then turned skeptically to her own brother. Xiao Yu, don't listen to his nonsense. However, Your brother Yunxiao did say one thing very accurately. I truly have no romantic feelings for Jinxing. At most it's a brother-sister bond. That's also why I called you out here. Shun Ziyue's face darkened. Brother, wait. Brother Yunxiao? Who's that? I don't remember having a brother named Yunxiao. Brother Yunxiao? That's not the point. Seeing his sister's clear aversion to Su Yunxiao, Shinzi shot Su Yunxiao a look. How is that not the point? Shinzi Yue, can't just suddenly have a random brother and not even know who he is. Besides, not just any Tom, Dick, or Harry can be my brother. Shinzi Yue retorted fiercely and sharply. Shinzi also found this sister a bit of a headache. Impulsive, domineering, sharp-tongued, and insisting on her own way. These were all labels for Shinzi Yue. He often wondered if Lu Jinxing were his real sister instead. Lu Jinxing was gentle, kind, well-mannered, and understanding. Both were young ladies from prominent families, so why were they worlds apart? Xiao Yeye, your brother Yunxiao is here. I'm your brother's university classmate and roommate, and also his former comrade in arms. I'm not just any Tom, Dick, or Harry. Su Yunxiao found the girl in front of him immensely interesting. Strong, assertive, stubborn, and fiercely loyal. She wasn't like typical girls from wealthy families. Shinzi Yue eyed Su Yunxiao up and down. You? By what right do you expect me to call you brother? Because you're old? Or because you're handsome? If it's about being handsome, you're definitely not as handsome as Shuo Yu who just left. So, that means it's because you're old. It had to be said, including Shuo Yu who had just departed. All three men were strikingly handsome and exuding a valiant aura. If the three of them walked down the street together, they'd surely turn heads, perhaps twice over. All right, Z, your sister is truly sharp-tongued. Fine, I'm old. Little one. Then please respect your elders. Shinzi Yue looked scornful. Cut the act. There's no sea next to your house, is there? Anyone who didn't know would think you live by the ocean. Faced with Shinzi Yue's sharp tongue, Su Yunxiao was naturally not to be outdone. He used to think he was sharp-tongued enough, but tonight he'd met his match. Shinzi watched the two of them trading barbs without giving an inch. He asked with a wry smile, "Are you two planning to battle it out until dawn?" "Yes," Shinzi Yue and Su Yunxiao said in unison. "Then you two continue. I'm going to call Shuo Yu and ask how Jinxing is doing," Shinzi said, walking to the balcony, pulling out his phone from his pocket, and dialing Shuo Yu. "Hello, Yu. How's Jinxing?" Shuo Yu's cold voice came from the other end of the phone. Very serious. "Shinzi, control your sister from now on. Don't let her act like a shrew. She just caused Xinger to get 3 stitches on her forehead. Also, Xinger needs to be on N4 for inflammation at the hospital tonight, so she won't be returning to the Shun family villa." Shinzi felt a bit embarrassed for his sister after hearing Shuo Yu's words. Oh, I understand. Please tell Jinxing we're sorry. Then stay with her and take good care of her." After hanging up, Shinzi said displeasedly to his sister, "Xiao Yu, let's go home. Shuo Yu said Jinxing got 3 stitches on her forehead and needs N4 for inflammation at the hospital. She won't be coming back to the villa with us today." 3 stitches? That's serious? "It's all my fault. I hurt Jinxing." Whoa. Shinzi Yue started crying as she spoke. "All right, let's go. Whose fault is it that you always act so impulsively? Also, Jinxing and Shuo Yu are temporarily planning to have a secret marriage, so from now on, be careful what you say in front of mom and dad." Shinzi finished impatiently and walked straight out of Su Yunxiao's apartment. Shinzi Yue followed behind her brother, Shinzi, feeling both self-reproachful and aggrieved. After the Shin siblings left, Su Yunxiao shook his head and murmured to himself, "Sigh. Tonight was destined to be not a night of getting drunk until we drop, but a night ending in discord." Today was the 2nd day since the 3 brothers retired from the military and their first time drinking together. Unexpectedly, because of 2 women, it had turned into a chaotic mess. He wondered what the days ahead would be like. The siblings walked in silence. Shinzi didn't know why he was unhappy. Was it because he heard Lu Jinxing was injured and got 3 stitches? Or because his good brother had cursed at his sister? Or was it because he felt angry that Shuo Yu cared so much about Lu Jinxing? His head was swimming with questions, and there was no one who could answer them for him. So, he could only brood in silence. Equally unhappy was Shinzi Yue. She didn't know how things had turned out this way. She had clearly meant well, but she always ended up hurting her best friend. Last night, because of her invitation, her best friend lost the most precious thing a girl has. Tonight, also because of her, her best friend was injured again, getting 3 stitches on her most visible forehead. What if it left a scar? She felt self-reproachful and sad, but had nowhere to vent. After her stitches, Lu Jinxing lay in the hospital bed on an 4-drip. She could have just stayed in the emergency infusion room, but Shuo Yu insisted on getting a VIP room. After making the call, Shuo Yu went out to smoke a cigarette before returning to the room. Lu Jinxing looked at Shuo Yu's angry face and said, "I'm fine. Don't blame Ziyue. She only acted that way because she wanted to stick up for me." Shuo Yu said grimly, "You are my wife, Lu Jinxing. No one has the right to hurt you, not even by accident." Lu Jinxing. Is this the scene where the overbearing CEO protects his delicate wife? We're just living together as partners, aren't we? He's acting like it's real. After this 4-drip is done, should we go to a hotel or stay here for the night? Shuo Yu adjusted the 4-tube and checked the remaining liquid before asking Lu Jinxing. Go to a hotel. At the mention of hotel, all the hairs on Lu Jinxing's body stood on end. She was incredibly nervous. Last night, by a strange coincidence, she had encountered a man like Shuo Yu, which she considered incredibly lucky. If she had encountered a pervert, what would the consequences have been? She couldn't even imagine. But if she didn't go to a hotel, staying in a hospital room for the night didn't feel great either. Plus, the smell of disinfectant in the room was truly unpleasant. Do you need to be so dramatic? We're legally married now. I haven't forgotten our 3-point agreement from before, Shuo Yu said displeased. I'm sorry, I wasn't aiming that at you. I'm just a bit sensitive to the word hotel right now. How about we go there instead? Lu Jinxing suggested, thinking of the large apartment she had told Shuo Yu about earlier today. Shuo Yu had a devilish smirk. The new home Grandpa prepared for us? Lu Jinxing. You're adapting quite quickly, aren't you? Anyway, you haven't been there yet. So let's just consider tonight a chance to familiarize yourself with the route. Good. Then go pay for me first. Lu Jinxing took out a few banknotes from her sling bag and handed them to Shuo Yu. The sight of the banknotes was truly jarring to Shuo Yu, so he didn't take them. Instead, he turned around with a dark expression and walked out of the room. Shuo Yu, did this girl really think he was some poor kid? Did she take him for a kept man? Shuo Yu, what's wrong? Lu Jinxing called out, watching Shuo Yu walk out with a dark expression. Lu Jinxing, why did his face suddenly darken? Was there a problem? Did I do something wrong? Or did Shuo Yu go to Sichuan to learn face changing? When Shuo Yu paid the bill and returned to the ward, the nurse had already removed the 4-needle from Lu Jinxing's hand. Miss Lu, please remember these next few days. Do not let the wound touch water. Take your medicine on time. Also, remember to come to the hospital on time for your 2nd and 3rd tetanus shots. Your diet should be light these few days. The nurse carefully gave the medical instructions. Okay, thank you. I've noted it. Lu Jinxing politely thanked her. The two walked out of the hospital one after another and got straight into the car. As Shuo Yu started the car, he asked, "How do you feel now? It might hurt a bit after the anesthesia wears off." "I'm fine, don't feel anything right now." "But why were you angry just now?" Lu Jinxing, seeing Shuo Yu back to normal, couldn't help but tilt her head and ask. "No reason, just displeased. And don't give me money anymore. How can I, a grown man, spend a woman's money?" After Shuo Yu finished speaking, his brows completely relaxed. Lu Jinxing didn't know how to respond. She had originally thought of stopping by the supermarket later to buy him some daily necessities and give him some money. Now, it seemed best not to do anything at all, lest she upset this temperamental guy again. Shuo Yu, seeing Lu Jinxing not respond for a while, couldn't help but say again, "We've already registered our marriage. So from now on, I'll give you money to spend, not the other way around. Understand? But I have my own money, so I don't need to spend yours, do I? You're starting a business now, and you'll need money everywhere." Lu Jinxing, this man is really strange. Is he eager to give me money? Shuo Yu felt a warmth in his heart after hearing Lu Jinxing. "Xinger, are you thinking for my sake? It's only right for a man to earn money to support his family. Your money is just what your maternal grandfather left you as dowry. If I, Shuo Yu, can't even support my own woman, I'll be a huge laughingstock later." Shuo Yu, This woman is truly naive. Other women try every trick in the book to get men to spend money on them. But she, on the other hand, not only doesn't want it, she even likes to pay for him. To avoid Shuo Yu getting upset again, Lu Jinxing had to compromise. All right, I understand. Soon, guided by Lu Jinxing, Shuo Yu parked the car in the underground garage of the Jinyun Houding residential complex. Shuo Yu helped Lu Jinxing out of the car as he had before. Then he went around to the back of the car, opened the trunk, and took out a large black suitcase. Were you planning to move in today? Lu Jinxing asked, watching Shuo Yu's actions. Not exactly. After I came back yesterday, my suitcase stayed in the car, so tonight just happens to be like moving in. Oh. The two took the elevator to the new apartment. Lu Jinxing quickly opened the digital lock, and after entering, Shuo Yu scanned the entire room. The house, approximately 300 square meters, had a light luxury and grand decor. Even though it was night, Shuo Yu could feel that the house was almost spotless. He asked, somewhat surprised, Xinger, you said you haven't lived here before, so how is it so clean? I haven't lived here, but my wet nurse comes to help me clean 2 or 3 times a week. So naturally, the house is very clean. Wet nurse. In this society, this term was rarely heard anymore. Even in their Shuo family, it seemed there wasn't a servant with such a position. I'll tell you about it later. For now, let's make the bed. Since there are no servants, we'll have to do it ourselves. Lu Jinxing finished speaking and walked straight towards the bedroom. There are 3 bedrooms in total. Which one do you want to choose? Shuo Yu. Anywhere. Lu Jinxing had no choice but to point to the adjacent master bedroom and say, then you can sleep in the master bedroom. The master bedroom and the study are connected, which will be convenient for your work later. Shuo Yu didn't respond. He just silently walked into the master bedroom Lu Jinxing pointed to, took a look, and then carried his rolling suitcase inside as well. When Lu Jinxing wanted to follow him in to help, she was stopped by Shuo Yu's cold gaze. She had no choice but to go to the guest bedroom further away from the master bedroom, preparing to take out a 4-piece bedding set from the wardrobe to make her own bed. Put it down. Just as she touched the bedding set, a stern voice came from behind her. She instinctively grabbed the bedding set and pulled hard, causing all the bed linen stacked on top to fall down. Shuo Yu lunged forward, wrapped his arm around her slender waist, and turned her 180 degrees. When she looked back, the floor was covered with fallen bed linens. Do you want a few more stitches on your forehead? Do you think you're not ugly enough now? Shuo Yu said with slight anger. Lu Jinxing, her face flushed, had already broken free from his embrace. I didn't see there were things still on top. Never mind. Go to the living room and watch TV. I'll clean this up, Shuo Yu said coldly. Watching Lu Jinxing leave resentfully, he thought, this woman, she wants to do everything herself. Does she see him, a man, as just a decoration in the house? Lu Jinxing, this man is too domineering, isn't he? Are all handsome men like this? Never mind. It's good that he likes to handle all the housework himself. It will make things easier for the wet nurse later. While Shuo Yu was tidying the guest bedroom, Lu Jinxing quietly slipped into the master bedroom. Seeing everything before her, she couldn't help but be dumbfounded. The bedsheet was spread perfectly flat, with no trace of folds, and the quilt, folded into a neat tofu block, was conspicuously placed in the center of the bed's headboard. Everything in the room was arranged meticulously, almost excessively so. As Lu Jinxing was lost in thought, Shuo Yu's voice came from behind her again, this time no longer cold, but with a hint of mischief. What's wrong? Do you want to sleep in the master bedroom with me? Lu Jinxing rolled her eyes at him, and just as she was about to leave, Shuo Yu grabbed her arm. I regret it. Lu Jinxing. I regret agreeing to your 3 rules. Can I go back on my word now? Shuo Yu's magnetic voice brushed against Lu Jinxing's ear, causing a ticklish sensation. This man was too handsome, too mischievous. Before she fully understood him, she absolutely had to stick to her bottom line. Shuo Yu, as a man, you should keep your word, Lu Jinxing challenged. But you didn't treat me as a man, did you? Lu Jinxing's face clouded over. She had to leave this room quickly. This temperamental man was toxic. It hurts so much. Lu Jinxing pretended her wound was throbbing with pain. Hearing Lu Jinxing cry out in pain, Shuo Yu immediately tensed up. What's wrong? Has the anesthesia worn off? and your wound started hurting. Lu Jinxing touched her forehead with her hand. I want to lie down for a bit. My head hurts so much, and I'm a bit dizzy. Before she could finish her sentence, Shuo Yu picked her up horizontally. She wanted to struggle, but Shuo Yu had already uttered a few words. Don't move, or you'll suffer the consequences. She instantly abandoned all thoughts of action, not daring to breathe, and obediently wrapped one arm around Shuo Yu's neck. Seeing the person in his arms become compliant, Shuo Yu then walked towards the guest bedroom. He carefully placed her on the bed, and then picked up a pillow to prop behind her back. Is this all right? Lu Jinxing didn't dare to look up at him, only softly hummed. Shuo Yu glanced at her and said, Then you rest. Call me anytime if you're uncomfortable. Afterwards, he walked out of the guest bedroom, and the door closed behind him. The moment the bedroom door closed, Lu Jinxing finally let out a long sigh of relief, patting her chest to calm herself. Oh my God, I thought I was going to suffocate. She didn't go to sleep immediately. Instead, she took out a set of pajamas from the wardrobe and went to the bathroom. She chose this secondary bedroom for two reasons. Firstly, it was close to the bathroom, making it convenient for washing. Secondly, it was further away from the master bedroom. Looking at the gauze bandage on her forehead in the mirror, she began to feel troubled. The doctor said no water, so how was she supposed to wash her hair? She hadn't washed it last night due to being drunk, and this morning she'd been too stunned after waking up. If she didn't wash it tonight, she'd be too embarrassed to go out tomorrow. Just then, there was a knock on the bathroom door. Hearing the knock, Lu Jinxing's heart nearly stopped from tension. She composed herself and asked, What is it? Shuo Yu's magnetic voice came from outside the door. Nothing much. I just wanted to remind you not to wash your hair, or the wound might get infected if it gets wet. If you really want to wash it, come out later. I can help you. Seeing that Shuo Yu had no intention of forcing his way in, Lu Jinxing felt relieved. All right, I understand. Don't worry. I won't wash my hair myself. Lu Jinxing, am I still drunk from last night? Why am I doing such thoughtless things? Being alone in a room with a man in the middle of the night, isn't this just asking for trouble? Also, with such a prominent wound on her forehead, she definitely couldn't go to the Shun family villa for the next few days. She couldn't go home either, so wouldn't she be stuck in this house for the next few days? Having to see that unpredictable face every day, and constantly guard against him crossing the line. Thinking of all this, she really got a headache. When Lu Jinxing came out after her shower, there was no longer any sound outside. She glanced at the tightly closed master bedroom door and returned to the secondary bedroom with a sense of relief. She closed the door, carefully locked it, then thought better of it and unlocked it again. She couldn't judge a gentleman by the heart of a villain. Lying on the moderately firm Simmons mattress, she quickly drifted off to sleep. Strangely, she didn't have any nightmares that night either. In the master bedroom, Shuo Yu tossed and turned, unable to sleep. According to his grandmother's arrangements for him, retirement from the military, marriage, and inheriting the family business. The first two were not difficult for him and were now complete. The most difficult part was inheriting the family business. It seemed easy, but in reality, crises lurked everywhere. A moment of carelessness could lead to utter ruin and disgrace. Many years ago, the Shuo family also followed ancestral rules for inheritance. Shuo Yu had only learned about the Shuo family's history from his grandmother in recent years. The conflict likely began in the generation of Shuo Yu's great-grandfather, when the designated heir was immoral and incompetent, completely unable to inherit and expand the family business. Later, he almost squandered the Shuo family's century-old foundation. Fortunately, Shuo Yuanqi, the only son of the third branch and Shuo Yu's great-grandfather, decisively intervened despite the opposition of the clan members, removing the heir from the main branch. Later, Shuo Yuanqi used his talent to restore the dilapidated Shuo family, bringing it back to the pinnacle of the business world in just 5 years. It was because of this violation of ancestral rules, coupled with the fact that no more sons were born to the main branch afterwards, that the descendants all began to stir. After Shuo Yuanqi's death, his second son, Shuo Yu's grandfather Shuo Chengsun, inherited the family business. Thanks to Shuo Yuanqi's decades of hard work, the Shuo family's business was flourishing. Therefore, Shuo Chengsun firmly held the family's inheritance rights in his hands. If nothing unexpected happened, the next heir should have been Shuo Yu's father, Shuo Xinyang. But fate is unpredictable. Shuo Xinyang was involved in a serious car accident on his way back from a business trip. Both he and his wife died on the spot. Shuo Xinyang was the only son. Shuo Chengsun was greatly affected by his son's unfortunate death and passed away from illness not long after. With the successive deaths of 2 generations of heirs, the collateral branches of the Shuo family began to stir in earnest. Fortunately, Shu Yu's grandmother, Gu Wanxiu, also came from a powerful and prestigious family. With the strong support of her maternal family, the collateral branches had not succeeded in seizing power for many years. From a young lady of a prominent family to a wife of a prominent family, and then to a widow of a prominent family, Gu Wanxiu was not defeated. She took her 10-year-old grandson, transformed her grief into strength. She ventured from a wealthy family into the business world, breaking through conventional views, resisting the obstructions and hindrances from the Shuo family's collateral branches. Ultimately, with her own hands, she forged a new era for the Shuo family's business, and once again firmly secured the Shuo family's inheritance rights in her grasp. Now over 70 years old, Gu Wanxiu was old and truly unable to continue. So she ordered her only grandson, Shuo Yu, to immediately retire from the military and return home to inherit this hard-won family business. She had painstakingly guarded the family's inheritance rights by herself for over a decade, and only by personally handing them over to her grandson would she be at ease. Shuo Yu was originally not interested in inheriting the family business. He disliked family conflicts. He yearned for a large family like the Shen family, where brothers were kind and harmonious for generations, without any power struggles. Not the Shuo family as it was now, disunited, filled with calculations everywhere, even infighting among kin, seemingly prosperous on the surface, but inwardly already utterly corrupt. Later, after his grandmother repeatedly recounted the efforts and untold hardships she had endured over the past 10 or 20 years to protect the inheritance rights, Shuo Yu finally felt a touch of compassion and decided to work hard to help his grandmother continue to preserve this hard-won achievement. And, like his great-grandfather back then, to single-handedly change the fate and face of the entire family. He wanted to bring the century-old Shuo family back on track under his leadership. At the same time, he had a lingering pain in his heart for over a decade, the death of his parents. After understanding the wolf-like nature of those collateral branches, he became even more convinced that his parents' car accident back then was not an accident, but deliberate. He had to investigate the truth behind his parents' car accident and bring peace to their souls in heaven. Therefore, inheriting the family business and delving deeply into the Shuo family was the path he now had to take. But this path had just begun when Lu Jinxing unexpectedly entered his life. Ultimately, Shuo Yu didn't sleep a wink all night. As soon as the sky began to lighten, he changed into sportswear and went out. He ran 2 laps around the Jinyun Court residential area, getting a basic familiarity with the surroundings. Remembering the nurse's medical advice when Lu Jinxing was discharged last night, Shuo Yu went to a supermarket. This was the first time in his life he had gone to a supermarket alone. Although he knew nothing, because he was handsome, with the incredibly enthusiastic help of the supermarket staff, he quickly bought some daily necessities and ingredients. When Shuo Yu returned home carrying bags big and small, Lu Jinxing was already awake. Seeing Shuo Yu bring back so many things from outside early in the morning, Lu Jinxing was genuinely stunned. In her impression, her father, Qin Wansheng, was the kind of man who had everything done for him, probably because there were too many servants in the Lu family. However, she seemed to prefer a man with a down-to-earth quality, like the man in front of her now. Shuo Yu entered the room and saw Lu Jinxing staring at him. He asked, "What's wrong? Why are you staring at me? Do I have something on my face?" Lu Jinxing blushed sheepishly and quickly explained, No, I was just curious how you got up so early. And how is it that you, a guy, go grocery shopping by yourself? Don't you know I served in the military for a few years? I still have the most basic self-sufficiency skills, though I'm not particularly proficient yet. But I'm very adaptable. It shouldn't be long before I master everything. Shuo Yu boasted with a straight face. You must be hungry, right? I'll make you breakfast right away. You go wash up. It'll be ready soon. Lu Jinxing asked with a hint of doubt. Can you really cook? If not, I can call the Lu Group's hotel to send over some food. Don't easily doubt someone's abilities, Shuo Yu said with a mischievous glint in his eyes. When Lu Jinxing came out after getting ready, Shuo Yu's breakfast was already laid out on the dining table. There was 5-grain soy milk, red bean buns, fried eggs, vegetable salad, and sliced red-fleshed kiwi and fragrant grapes. She could hardly believe her eyes. These were all her usual favorite breakfast foods. Lu Jinxing asked incredulously, Shuo, how did you know I like these for breakfast? Guess. Shuo Yu, sitting across the table, smiled with an unfathomable expression. Lu Jinxing thought, could it be that just by getting a marriage certificate, he's seen right through me? Only my nanny knows my daily habits best. Could it be? Ding dong. The doorbell rang, interrupting Lu Jinxing's speculation. The only person who knew about this house was her nanny. Could it be the nanny? What should I do? How will I explain Shuo Yu when the nanny sees him? Before she could think too much, Shuo Yu had already gotten up and opened the door. Auntie, please come in. Xing'er is having breakfast, Shuo Yu said with a smile to the visitor. Lu Jinxing looked up and saw Cheng Shuwen standing in the entrance hall, loaded with bags big and small, changing her shoes. She was so startled that the red bean bun in her hand almost dropped to the floor. Mama Cheng, why are you here? Miss, why didn't you tell Mama Cheng you were injured? If it weren't for the young master-in-law telling me, would you have kept me in the dark all along? Cheng Shuwen scolded her with a pained heart. To Cheng Shuwen, Lu Jinxing was far more precious than her own daughter. Moreover, with the rest of the Lu family no longer around, leaving Lu Jinxing as such a delicate soul survivor, how could she face old Master Lu's dying wish if she didn't take meticulous care of her? Mama Cheng. Lu Jinxing stood up and hugged Cheng Shuwen, calling out softly, just like she used to cuddle in Cheng Shuwen's arms when she was little. Miss, does your wound still hurt? Cheng Shuwen asked with red eyes. This child, whom she had protected and raised since childhood, was experiencing such a serious injury for the first time in her life, so she couldn't help but feel distressed. Being cared for so deeply, Lu Jinxing felt a warmth in her heart. She smiled and said, It doesn't hurt much anymore. Don't worry, it'll be fine in a few days. The doctor said as long as the wound heals well, it won't affect my beauty. Oh, you. Even now, you're still teasing me. Hurry and eat your breakfast before it gets cold. I'll go put these things away in the room first. Okay, Lu Jinxing said, then sat down and continued eating her breakfast. After Shuo Yu helped Cheng Shuwen move her things into the bedroom, he also sat down and continued eating his breakfast. Hearing Lu Jinxing's conversation with her nanny just now, he also felt a warmth in his heart. Throughout all these years, very few people had genuinely cared for him. At the Shuo Yu family's old residence, other than his grandmother, he was already content as long as others didn't harm him. Shuo Yu, thank you, Lu Jinxing whispered as she ate her red bean bun. By whispered, she meant it was so quiet that basically only she herself could hear it clearly. What did you say? Huh? Nothing. It's fine if you didn't hear it. Did you say you love me? Shuo Yu said deliberately, looking at Lu Jinxing. Lu Jinxing was speechless. Shuo Yu then added playfully, Oh, I see. The two quickly finished breakfast. Just as Shuo Yu was about to get up and clear the table, Cheng Shuwen called out, Young master-in-law, how can I let you do these chores? Please put them down. I'll do them. Auntie, it's fine. I can do all of this, Shuo Yu said with a smile. No. People say a gentleman stays away from the kitchen, and you're the Lu family's son-in-law on top of that. Cheng Shuwen completely refused to let Shuo Yu help. Lu Jinxing, standing nearby, also chuckled. Mama Cheng, if he wants to do it, just let him. We young people don't care about such formalities. Cheng Shuwen's expression turned serious. Miss, don't egg him on. These are my duties. If the young master-in-law does everything, what good am I? Or do Miss and young master-in-law think I'm superfluous here? No. Auntie, we didn't mean that. Please, it's no trouble at all, Shuo Yu quickly explained. It was his first time seeing a Lu family servant so respectful and proper. At the Shuo Yu family's old residence, apart from the people his grandmother brought from Orange Garden, the other maids all harbored ulterior motives. Young master-in-law, you're too polite. Cheng Shuwen immediately beamed with happiness. In fact, she had been overjoyed ever since she received Shuo Yu's call early that morning. Hello, may I ask if this is Miss? Cheng Shuwen, Lu Jinxing's nanny, the direct voice on the phone asked. Cheng Shuan's heart tightened when she heard the caller mention her young miss. Yes, who is this? Is something wrong with my young miss? Oh, Auntie Xinger is fine. I'm her boyfriend. Xinger accidentally scraped her forehead a little yesterday. The doctor advised her to keep her diet light for the next few days, so I wanted to ask you what Xinger usually likes for breakfast. Oh, Miss usually likes red bean buns and 5-grain soy milk for breakfast. Young master-in-law, where are you living now? Let me come and take care of Miss. The wound is on her forehead, and it wouldn't be good if it left a scar if it doesn't heal well, Cheng Shuwen said with some concern. That works. Auntie, we're currently living in the new house here. Listening to the boy on the phone, so thoughtful as to specifically call and ask about her young Mrs. dietary preferences, showed that he must be a wonderful young man. Sure enough, when she walked in and saw her young master-in-law, her heart bloomed with joy. The young man was not only tall and slender, but also had handsome features, exuding a natural aristocratic aura. Cheng Shuwen had started working at the Lu family home with her mother when she was around 16. When old Madame Lu was still alive, she loved hosting various banquets at the Lu family villa. Cheng Shuwen had observed the young masters and ladies of wealthy and aristocratic families for 20 to 30 years, so she absolutely wouldn't be mistaken. Her young master-in-law was truly destined for greatness. Since Shuo Yu hadn't won the argument with Cheng Shuwen, he went back to his room, took a shower, and changed into a new set of clothes, getting ready to go out. Xinger, you stay home and rest well. Don't go wandering around, or it'll be troublesome if your wound reopens. I'm going out to meet my childhood friend today, and we'll also discuss some work matters, Shuo Yu instructed Lu Jinxing, who was sitting on the sofa watching TV, as he tied his necktie. I know. You go, Lu Jinxing said, staring straight at the TV. It wasn't that she didn't want to look at him. She was afraid she'd be enchanted if she looked at him one more time. The moment he opened the bedroom door, she had already seen the man in a perfectly tailored suit, impossibly handsome. As he walked to the door to change his shoes, Shuo Yu spoke to Cheng Shuwen again. Auntie, I'll be back for dinner tonight. Please help me keep a close eye on Xinger. Thank you. Young master-in-law, rest assured. I will take good care of Miss. Cheng Shuwen replied to Shuo Yu with a beaming smile. Lu Jinxing had her personal nanny looking after her, so Shuo Yu left feeling reassured. Not yet officially back at Yunshua Group, his current movements weren't accompanied by a large group of bodyguards. Shuolei and his brothers only occasionally sent people to secretly keep an eye on him. Overall, he was free to move. He drove his jeep first to Shenzhou Group. This was truly his own territory. Shenzhou Group was founded by Shuo Yu with the first pot of gold he earned during university. Later, when he joined the army, Shenzhou Group was continuously managed by his childhood friend, Gu Yi. In just a few short years, under Gu Ye's decisive leadership, Shenzhou had already gone global and become one of the world's top 500 enterprises. Therefore, Shuo Yu was very satisfied with Gu Yi as the acting president. As soon as he got out of the car, Shuo Yu saw Gu Yi and a group of the group's senior executives already waiting for him at the main entrance. All executives. Hello, President Shuo. Welcome back, President Shuo. Shuo Yu responded warmly and powerfully. Hello, everyone. You've all worked hard. I'll give you raises later. Thank you, President Shuo. All executives. This must be the legendary domineering CEO. So mighty. Ayu, you finally decided to come back. Gu Yi strode forward quickly and gave Shuo Yu a big hug. You've worked hard, my brother. After they separated, they fist-bumped 3 times. The executives watched their intimate actions, likely marveling at the deep bond of brotherhood between the two bosses. Subsequently, Shuo Yu and Gu Yi returned to the office. Still the same as 6 years ago, Shuo Yu said, looking around his office. Of course it's your stuff. Without your permission, who would dare touch anything? Gu Yi teased intentionally. 18 years ago, Shuo Yu lost both his parents and came to live in Chengyuan with his grandmother. Chengyuan was part of Gu Wanjue's dowry when she married, making it her private property. To ensure her only grandson grew up safely and healthily, Gu Wanjue put in a lot of effort. Because the Shuo family's ancestral home was full of a pack of wolves and jackals, constantly plotting how to make Shuo Yu, this little kid, lose his inheritance rights. With Shuo Yu living in Chengyuan, those wolves' claws wouldn't be able to reach in. Grandma was afraid Shuo Yu would be traumatized by his parents' departure, so she brought her sister's grandson to Qingyuan to raise him together. When 9-year-old Gu Yi got out of the car, a kite landed at his feet. He instinctively bent down and picked it up. He was about to ask, "Whose kite is this?" He saw a boy about his age storm over, snatch the kite back, and say, "This is my kite. Who told you to touch it without my permission?" Gu Yi said innocently, "I just picked it up from the ground." "Picked it up? Is it that easy to pick up? If you're so good, go pick another one just like it for me," Shuo Yu said icily. Gu Yi, however, didn't care about Shuo Yu's cold stare. Instead, he smiled warmly and brightly, wanting to be friends with this cold boy. He said, "Okay, if I can bring back another identical kite, how about we become friends?" Shuo Yu remained expressionless and didn't answer. "If you don't answer, I'll take it as a yes," Gu Yi said with a smile and left with the butler. Gu Wanjue, watching everything that had just happened, smiled happily and said to the servant beside her, "This child Gu Yi is really good. Ayu will have a companion now." The servant echoed, "Yes, Madam is always so thoughtful." The next morning, Gu Yi really brought a kite identical to the one Shuo Yu had yesterday afternoon. "How about it?" "We agreed. As long as I bring you an identical kite to the one you had yesterday, we'll be friends. A man's word is his bond. Once spoken, it cannot be unsaid," Gu Yi said with righteous conviction. After a long silence, Shuo Yu said coldly, "Fine. You've said it all. From now on, my things will always include a share for you." Perhaps because they were of similar age, perhaps because they had both lost their parents' affection. Thus, from then on, Shuo Yu and Gu Yi became inseparable friends. "Gu Yi, if you can truly remember that sentence for a lifetime, then I'll be impressed. Who wants to spend a lifetime with you? You moody and unpredictable guy, I don't love you," Gu Yi sneered. Shuo Yu looked Gu Yi up and down, then sighed and shook his head. "Alas, I didn't expect that after all these years, you're still so infatuated with your brother." Gu Yi's face twitched with exasperation. "Brother, dear brother, I'll endure." Seeing Gu Yi concede, Shuo Yu chuckled. "All right, I'll let you have your way next time. I mainly came today to tell you. I'm about to join Yinshua Group, so I'll still have to trouble you to continue managing Xingzhou." "Ayu, what are you talking about? It's not like I'm doing this for nothing, is it? Don't I have shares in Xingzhou too? Besides, the shares you gave me back then, even if I worked for you for 2 more lifetimes, it would still be a great deal," Gu Yi said with an air of calm detachment. He recalled that when he was at his most difficult, it was Shuo Yu who helped him find his sense of purpose. Xingzhou was still in its initial planning stages, and he was forced to drop out of university due to issues stemming from his birth family, leaving university and leaving Shuo Yu. 2 years later, after his biological father passed away, he returned to university. By then, Xingzhou, founded by Shuo Yu, was already well established. As soon as he returned to school, Shuo Yu came with a 10% share agreement for Xingzhou and insisted he sign it. He knew Shuo Yu wasn't pitying him, but fulfilling a promise from their childhood brotherhood. Shuo Yu, due to his exceptionally high IQ, had skipped 2 grades in school and graduated with a doctorate before he was 22. Later, a special forces unit came to the universities in Chongqing to select special talents. Shuo Yu, who had dreamed of being a soldier since childhood, was fortunate enough to be selected due to his high intelligence, advanced education, and excellent physical fitness. When Shuo Yu left, he entrusted his most important grandmother and company to him. Shuo Yu made him feel that he mattered in this world. Even though his father didn't care for him and his mother didn't love him, he had a friend, a brother like Shuo Yu, so his life was worth living. Shuo Yu laughed. "Look at you. I've never considered you my employee. You're my brother, my best friend." Of course, I know that. Tell me about Yinshua Group." "I think Yinshua Group is currently quite stable under Grandma's control. Many high-ranking and influential individuals below are basically confidants she's cultivated over the years. You should have no problem taking over smoothly. However, even the strongest fortress always has some problematic elements mixed in. So, you'll need to be cautious at every turn in the future. I'll send you a batch of our own bodyguards from here, so at least your personal safety will be assured in the future," Gu Yi said, expressing some concern for Shuo Yu. Shuo Yu thought for a moment and said, "My safety isn't an issue. Help me pick a few highly capable ones. I'll arrange for them to do something else. All right then. Gu Yi naturally wouldn't question what Shuo Yu wanted to do with the bodyguards. He knew his place. You should be free this morning, right? Shall we go back to Orange Garden together to have lunch with Grandma? Shuo Yu flicked off some ash, looking at Gu Yi who was tinkering with a figurine by his side, and asked, Sounds good. I haven't been back to Orange Garden for several days either. Shall we leave now? Gu Yi readily agreed. The two decided to leave immediately, and the bodyguards at the door instantly followed. Gu Yi was Shengzhou's acting CEO, but as Shuo Yu had been away for years, all decision-making power within Shengzhou had been in Gu Ye's hands. Outsiders only knew that the famous Shengzhou group in the city was headed by CEO Gu Yi. Therefore, Gu Ye's travel safety was especially important, and accompanying bodyguards were a must. The driver pulled up a black Maybach. Gu Yi waved at the driver and said, I'll take CEO Shuo's car today. You can park this back in the garage. CEO Gu, my Jeep isn't nearly as comfortable as your luxury ride. Shuo Yu teased deliberately. You stop it. I know you too well. You never drive any of the cars Grandma prepared for you. Instead, you drive out a car from your garage that's practically scrap metal, parading it around town. If you say you don't have a scheme going on, who'd believe it? Gu Yi saw right through Shuo Yu. My heart is clear. Shuo Yu is open and honest. What kind of scheme could I possibly have? And who would my scheme even be against? You make it sound like I'm some sort of schemer. Gu Yi said smugly. Just wait. The answer will reveal itself soon enough. Shuo Yu thought. Asterisk, this guy really does know me inside out. Nothing escapes his eyes. Asterisk. 2 hours later, Shuo Yu's Jeep came to a steady stop at the entrance of Orange Garden Villa. The butler, Lin Chuan, seeing Shuo Yu and Gu Yi step out of the car, quickly greeted them with a smile. Young Master Shuo, young Master Gu, you're back. The old madam is currently fertilizing the fruit trees on the back mountain. Grandma is so old. Why does she keep going to the fields? Uncle Lin, please take me to find Grandma. Shuo Yu said with a frown. Gu Yi, of course, knew why Grandma insisted on going to the fields herself. Today, Orange Garden must have another group of socialites and debutantes visiting. He smiled and said to Shuo Yu, You, if you want Grandma to stop running to the orchard all the time, then quickly find a girlfriend and get married. Then give Grandma a great-grandchild, and she'll be busy taking care of the little one every day, naturally having no time for the orchard. Shuo Yu's face went dark. He immediately thought of something and smiled mischievously. Gu Yi, are you trying to get me to bring the little fatty girl over for you? The little fatty girl was Gu Ye's lifelong nightmare. Gu Yi quickly shook his head, begging for mercy. You, I was wrong. The three climbed the mountain path for a while before finding old Madame Shuo. Old Madam, young Master Shuo, and young Master Gu are back. Uncle Lin quickly walked up to old Madame Shuo, took the fertilizing tools from her hand, and said, Is that so? They've come back just in time. Lin Chuan, take those young ladies back to change. The fertilizing is almost done. They can rest now. Old Madame Shuo said meaningfully to butler Lin Chuan. Yes, old madam. Lin Chuan replied respectfully. Lin Chuan was quite used to the old madam's methods by now. He couldn't even remember how many times this test had been conducted. The Shuo family's status in the city was unrivaled, second only to the Xin family. So, as soon as it was rumored that old Madame Shuo was looking for a wife for her grandson, the future successor of the Shuo family, all the prominent families in the city promptly sent their well-bred daughters and demure maidens for the old madam's inspection. At first, the old madam would receive them one by one, but the threshold of Orange Garden was almost worn through, and she still hadn't found a satisfactory one. Moreover, all the artificially perfected faces made the old madam almost develop face blindness. She realized that Shuo Yu's woman must be able to endure hardship and work diligently. So the old madam came up with her current method. She would have the girls come to Orange Garden in small groups, then take them to the orchard on the back mountain to loosen soil, prune branches, fertilize, and water. Many of these well-bred young ladies were born with a silver spoon in their mouths, surrounded by numerous nannies and servants, never having lifted a finger. How could they possibly have done such heavy labor? Some would shriek if water splashed on them. Some would cry hysterically at the sight of an earthworm, and others would stomp their feet in anger when stepping on organic fertilizer. Lin Xuan thought the old madam's ingenious method of choosing a granddaughter-in-law was quite good, and most importantly, it was remarkably effective. Those wailing, jumping, and fussing young ladies certainly didn't seem worthy of his young master. "Grandma!" Shuo Yu and Gu Yi called out simultaneously. "Oh, how nice you both came back to see me." Shuo Yu helped Grandma tidy the leaves and a few blades of grass from her hair. We just ran into each other on the way back." "Grandma, you're so old now. Don't keep running to the orchard. Don't we have dedicated workers to manage the orchard?" Orange Garden was called Orange Garden because old Madame Shuo had loved eating oranges since she was little. So her grandfather specially bought a mountain and planted orange trees for Gu Wanqi. Later, her father, thinking of using this orchard as his daughter's dowry, had it redeveloped into a manor for her. The front mountain was planted with flowers and plants, the back mountain was the orchard, and a villa was built in the center. What was unexpected was that old Madame Shuo actually ended up using this manor. Before, it was to avoid the schemes of the Shuo family's collateral branches. Now, it was to escape the hustle and bustle of the city. And now, Orange Garden had a new function, helping Shuo Yu choose a wife. Some things workers just can't do. Gu Yi chuckled from the side. Shuo Yu looked surprised. Orchard workers can't handle orchard work. "You look over there." Gu Yi pointed to a group of girls in the distance being led by Lin Xuan. Shuo Yu took one look and understood what was going on. "Grandma, don't come up here anymore. It's too dangerous." "Grandma, you have a granddaughter-in-law. Next time I come to see you, I'll bring her back to have dinner with you," Shuo Yu said, supporting his grandma. Old Madame Shuo asked, a little agitated. "You, what did you just say? Granddaughter-in-law? You have a girlfriend?" "To be precise, she's my wife," Shuo Yu declared emphatically. "You've already registered your marriage?" Old Madame Shuo asked, surprised. Gu Yi, standing nearby, also had his curiosity piqued by Shuo Yu's words. He had originally thought Shuo Yu was driving an old jeep to ward off the girl's grandma had arranged for blind dates. He hadn't expected there to be another story behind it. Most importantly, how could Shuo Yu have gotten married in just 2 days? "Okay, Grandma, let's go back first, and I'll tell you slowly." The three continued to climb the mountain for a bit longer until they reached the cable car station. The three of them, grandmother and grandsons, rode the cable car and were back at the villa in a few minutes. "All right, tell me, you've only been back for 2 days and you're already married? You're not trying to use a fake marriage certificate and just rent some girl to come back and trick Grandma, are you?" Old Madame Shuo thought about it during the few minutes it took to get back to the villa and found it utterly unbelievable. "Grandma, how could I do such a thing? I really am married. I registered the marriage yesterday and came back specifically to tell you today. I'll bring her back to see you in a few days." Gu Yi saw that Shuo Yu was speaking with such conviction and asked with a smile, You really had a flash marriage? Grandma's method for picking a granddaughter-in-law is already special enough. I really can't imagine how you managed to pick a wife for yourself in just 1 day." Shuo Yu did not answer Gu Yi's question. Instead, he took out a marriage certificate directly from his pocket and handed it to old Madame Shuo. "Grandma, look, this is my marriage certificate. I really didn't lie to you." Old Madame Shuo took the marriage certificate and looked at it over and over again several times, still somewhat skeptical. She knew that one of Shuo Yu's cousins was the director of the Civil Affairs Bureau, and getting a certificate like this would be a matter of minutes for him. Gu Yi also looked at Shuo Yu's marriage certificate repeatedly. However, in the end, he grasped the key point. "I feel like I've seen sister-in-law's photo somewhere. Lu Jinxing? AU. Is sister-in-law also called Lu Jinxing? She wouldn't happen to be the eldest daughter of Lu Group, would she?" Old Madame Shuo, the eldest daughter of Lu Group? How do you know? Shuo Yu smiled without speaking. "Grandma, it's like this. Our group has some cooperation with the company from the second branch of the Shin family. The girl in the photo often appeared at some banquets held by the Shin family. Everyone used to think she was Miss Shun, but later they found out she was Mrs. Shin's goddaughter, the eldest daughter of the Lu family. You know my memory is pretty good, basically photographic. So, I think this sister-in-law of mine is definitely the eldest daughter of the Lu family. AU has good taste." Although the Lu group gradually faded from public view after old Master Lu's passing, It is still a century-old prominent family. It's just that by old Master Lu's generation, the family lineage became a bit thin. Otherwise, the Lu family should now be counted among the 5 prominent families. However, even so, old Master Lu had already hired famous domestic and international managers to manage the Lu group before his death. So, the Lu group's strength is still very powerful. Gu Yi offered a fair assessment of the Lu group. I've also heard a little about these things. Although I didn't have much interaction with the Lu group before, old Madame Lu, when she was alive, loved hosting small banquets at home. I attended a few times when I had the time. The Lu family's background is definitely impeccable, but I remember the Lu family only had one daughter at the time, and her husband married into the family, right? Back then, there were rumors in the circle that this son-in-law of the Lu family was after the family's assets. If this son-in-law's character was acceptable, old Master Lu wouldn't have needed to spend money hiring outsiders to manage the group's affairs, would he? Old Madame Shuo couldn't help but feel a little worried as she recalled some of the old rumors. Hey you, tell Grandma, what kind of girl is this Lu Jinxing? Shuo Yu smiled. Grandma, don't overcomplicate human nature. Even if Xing'er's father isn't a good person, he is him, and Xing'er is Xing'er. Character depends on personal cultivation. It's not hereditary, right? And Xing'er told me that we'd keep our marriage secret for now and announce it when the time is right. Most importantly, she doesn't even know my true identity yet. Gu Yi, as expected. Old Madame Shuo looked shocked. Huh? You deliberately hid your identity from that girl? You, isn't that a bit bad? This is deception. You're not trying to trick her into marriage, are you? What if she finds out your true identity later and blames you for deliberately deceiving her? Grandma, it's not that serious. Me, the dignified heir of the Shuo family, tricking the eldest daughter of the Lu family into marriage. Who would believe that? We call this a flash marriage. We just don't know each other well yet. Besides, Xing'er never asked about my family background from beginning to end. I did introduce myself, but I just didn't tell her about being the heir. Shuo Yu defended himself. Indeed, Lu Jinxing never asked about his family background from beginning to end. Perhaps it was because his self-introduction was too detailed. Gu Yi, whatever you say? How could that be? Don't girls on blind dates nowadays all immediately ask, do you have a car, a house? Do your parents have social security? Could this girl have some hidden illness? Old Madame Shuo felt something was off, but she couldn't pinpoint it. Grandma, you're overthinking it. Xing'er is in perfect health. Girls who ask if the other party has a house, car, or money are usually doing so because they don't have those things themselves, so they require the man to have them. Girls who already possess these things only care if the man they choose is reliable and responsible. What you say seems plausible, but are you really determined to hide your identity? Old Madame Shuo thought. Her grandson isn't stupid. He shouldn't be easily tricked. Why hide his identity? Oh no, it's others who get tricked by him. Of course, even if I go tell her now that I'm the Shuo family heir, she probably wouldn't believe it. Shuo Yu said, feeling smug. He had certainly figured it out. Lu Jinxing now completely regarded him as a poor boy. Otherwise, she wouldn't constantly worry about his financial issues and always think about giving him money to spend. Gu Yi, listening to their conversation from the side, secretly thought, this guy successfully pretended to be poor by driving an ordinary car. What else did he do to that girl? Otherwise, she wouldn't have just gone and gotten married to him. Shuo Yu, you really know me. All right then. Bring that girl back for Grandma to see as soon as possible. Also, I can temporarily help you hide your identity. I just won't say you're the Shuo family heir, all right? I won't lie. It's too troublesome to spin one lie after another. As the saying goes, if you tell one lie, you have to tell 100 more to cover it up. I'm old now. I don't feel like racking my brain. Old Madame Shuo chuckled. She thought about how much effort she had put into finding a satisfactory granddaughter-in-law during this period. Lin Chuan said her few remaining black hairs had all turned white. Now that her grandson had found a wife himself, she no longer had to worry. As for whether this granddaughter-in-law was a good person, she would only know after meeting her. But even if she didn't like her, it wouldn't matter, as long as her grandson liked her. At worst, she could help guide and train her later. Grandma, don't worry. Xing'er is excellent, lively and cheerful, kind-hearted, and very understanding. She studied translation and speaks several languages. You'll definitely love her when you meet her. Shuo Yu just wanted to praise Lu Jinxing to the heavens so that Grandma would be relieved. However, as a girl, Lu Jinxing had already graduated with a master's degree at 23. She spoke 6 languages and had won many national and international language speech competitions. From the age of 20, she quietly sponsored schools in remote areas and made large donations of money and goods to natural disaster-stricken regions multiple times. So, she indeed had the qualities that allowed him to praise her to the heavens. These were some of the details about Lu Jinxing that he had people investigate. He knew her thoroughly, while Lu Jinxing probably didn't know anything about him other than his name and gender. Meanwhile, Miss, which family does our young master belong to? Cheng Shuwen asked Lu Jinxing as she mopped the living room floor. Aunt Cheng, don't keep calling him young master. If my dad and his family find out, it'll be troublesome. Shuo Yu is just an ordinary person. Seeing her young miss say this, Cheng Shufan didn't feel it right to press her any further. After all, she was merely a servant, a boundary she had always scrupulously maintained. Speaking of servants, Cheng Shufan immediately thought of Sister Li. Miss, once your wound heals, you should return to the Lu family home as soon as possible. A few days ago, I unintentionally overheard Sister Li say, things in the warehouse keep going missing lately. I remember old master used to keep a lot of antiques in that warehouse. Those items are incredibly valuable. The auction price of just one of them could be equivalent to several generations' income for an ordinary family. Also, about a month ago, old Madame Qin dismissed all the Lu family's former bodyguards. Miss, you don't often stay at the villa, so you might not know these things have been happening. Lu Jinxing was a little surprised after hearing Cheng Shufan's words. Why would Grandma dismiss the bodyguards? Grandpa specially hired them from abroad for me before he passed away, and their salaries were paid by our Lu family. What right does she have? And what's this about things going missing from the warehouse? Are they short on money lately? Did they take things out to sell for cash? Mama Cheng, has my father been acting strangely at home lately? No, I need to have someone investigate my father. Cheng Shufan thought for a moment and said, other than leaving early and returning late, Mr. Qin has been as usual. Ms. Du has recently been making the 2 young masters intensely study English. Intensely studying English? Are the little kids bad at English? Or are they preparing for an overseas trip? Lu Jinxing muttered to herself. Regarding the Qin family, Lu Jinxing had always prioritized caution. As long as they didn't do anything excessive, she wouldn't interfere. However, since Mama Cheng said there had been unusual activity at home lately, she had to raise her guard. The Lu family bodyguards had been dismissed, and the servants had long since been bought off by the Qin family. So, at the Lu family villa, she was essentially completely in the dark. Mama Cheng, please go back to the villa in a moment and continue to keep an eye on things for me. I'll try to go back in the next 2 days. If anything truly happens at home, just observe. Don't alarm them under any circumstances. Lu Jinxing told Cheng Shufan. All right, miss. I'll go back as soon as I finish tidying up here. When I came out today, I said I was delivering something to you, so it's perfectly reasonable for me to return now. Thank you for your hard work, Mama Cheng. Be careful, and if anything happens, contact me immediately. Lu Jinxing instructed Cheng Shufan. Okay, I understand, miss. Lu Jinxing lay on the sofa, thinking, how can I investigate the Qin family's affairs? As a girl, she didn't have much of a network of contacts in her daily life. The Lu family was a single lineage. Those distant relatives had ceased all contact after old Master Lu's passing. She had originally thought of reaching out to Shen Ziyue, but the message she sent Shen Ziyue last night still hadn't received a reply. She probably was still angry with her right now. Lu Jinxing suddenly felt very lonely, without even anyone to talk to. This was why the country advocated for 2nd and 3rd children, not just because of the aging population, but more for the continuation of human kinship. Just then, Lu Jinxing's phone rang with a WeChat notification. She picked up her phone and opened it. It was a message from Shuo Yu. Xinger, how are you feeling? Does your wound hurt now? Shuo Yu. Lu Jinxing's eyes lit up, as if she had seen a beam of light. She immediately sent Shuo Yu a reply. I'm fine, the wound doesn't hurt much. How's your work? Is it going smoothly? Lu Jinxing thought that since Shuo Yu had messaged her out of concern, It was only right to return the concern, wasn't it? Shuo Yu. Very smoothly. Once I prepare the documents, I can start work. I'm at Grandma's place now. I'll be home in a bit. Didn't you have a headache last night? Are you feeling better today? Lu Jinxing replied. It still hurts. I don't think it'll get better anytime soon. Shuo Yu, on the other end, saw Lu Jinxing's reply and instantly became nervous. That's serious? Why want to get better? Wait there. I'll be right back to take you to the hospital for a checkup. Shuo Yu's nervousness was evident from the literal words of his message. Feeling Shuo Yu's concern, Lu Jinxing felt a warmth in her heart, and at the same time, a sense of being flattered and overwhelmed. She pondered for a long time before replying. No need. I just have a headache because of some family matters. Oh, so that's it. What happened in your family? Do you need help? Can I ask for your help? But you probably aren't very familiar with our Shangqing, are you? Lu Jinxing thought that Shuo Yu had just retired from service. Setting aside whether he had the ability, he was most likely unfamiliar with the city of Shangqing. He quickly replied, It's fine. What do you want me to help you with? Lu Jinxing was a little hesitant, but still sent the message. I'd like to ask for your help in investigating my father, Qin Wanqing's, recent situation. Mama Chung just told me that there have been unusual activities at the Lu family lately. I'm afraid the Qin family might do something to harm the Lu family's interests. After all, the Lu family fortune was hard-earned by my grandpa and the Lu family ancestors. I can't let them squander it. So, I want to investigate discreetly first to get a feel for the situation myself. If anything happens, I'll be better prepared to deal with it. I don't trust outside detective agencies, and I don't have many friends to help me. Okay, you know I just retired from military service. But I have many friends. I can ask my friends for help and get back to you as soon as possible. Shuo Yu thought, since he needed to temporarily conceal his identity, he couldn't reveal too much of his capability in his words or actions. So, he spoke more subtly, saying he would ask friends for help, which would both assist Lu Jinxing and prevent him from giving himself away. Old Madame Shuo and Gu Yi smiled as they watched Shuo Yu replying to messages on his phone. Was the person grinning foolishly at his phone still the Shuo Yu they knew? Old Madame Shuo. This boy, even though it was a whirlwind marriage with that girl, she could tell that her grandson truly cared deeply for that young girl. Seeing his grandmother and childhood friends staring at him and smiling, Shuo Yu touched his face and asked, Do I have something on my face? Not on your face, but definitely in your heart. Gu Yi teased. Shuo Yu said mischievously, Grandma, didn't you say yesterday that little fatty girl's family came to Shangqing recently? Yes? Do you need something from little fatty girl? Old Madame Shuo asked, not understanding why. Oh, not for now, I was just asking. Didn't the three of us often play together when we were little? Shuo Yu said casually, watching Gu Ye's uneasy expression. Then, he said to Gu Yi, Yi, let's go? Let's step outside for a smoke. The two walked out of the villa and into the garden. Who do you want to investigate? Gu Yi asked. I haven't even said yet. You're a bit too smart. We've been together day and night for over a decade, after all. Even if you don't wear your thoughts on your sleeve, I can guess what you're thinking. Don't forget what I majored in at university, Gu Yi chuckled. Yes, you're smart, all right. Have our subordinates look into Qin Wanqing's recent activities. Hearing that Shuo Yu wanted to investigate Qin Wanqing, Gu Yi asked in surprise, Qin Wanqing? You want to investigate your father-in-law? Is that so surprising? It's not me who wants to investigate him, it's Xinger. Xinger heard Mama Chung say that the Qin family's behavior has been a bit abnormal lately. So, she wants to first get a feel for the situation, so that if anything truly happens, she'll be better prepared to handle it. Didn't see that coming. This eldest Miss Lu actually has the ability to think independently. Usually, young ladies from big families these days are pampered, weighted on hand and foot. Their brains are only good for holding up their pretty faces, Gu Yi said, clearly with a hint of male chauvinism. Gu Yi said this because he had seen too many such women. Many of the young ladies old misses Shuo had recently met were mostly like that too. That's why old Mrs. Shuo had been overwhelmed by choices and still hadn't found a satisfactory granddaughter-in-law. What are you talking about? Not every young lady is useless, all right? Yi, don't paint everyone with the same brush. While I also can't stand those affected and artificial women, there are always some who are different. Shuo Yu retorted to Gu Yi. Yes, Your wife is unique, all right. I'll call right now and arrange for someone to investigate Qin Wanxing. And I warn you, don't mention little fatty to me again. As the two chatted outside, old Mrs. Shuo didn't pay them any mind. Instead, she turned to instruct a servant. Hua, go to my small storeroom and get me that golden jewelry box from my Wang Wali chest. Yes, old madam, Hua respectfully replied, then turned and walked towards old Mrs. Shuo's small storeroom. Old Mrs. Shuo's small storeroom. Before long, Hua brought over the golden jewelry box. The golden jewelry box. Old Mrs. Shuo opened it and took out a glass-grade, vibrant green jadeite bangle and a jadeite necklace. A glass-grade, vibrant green jadeite bangle and a jadeite necklace. You hand these to your wife later. Just say they're from Granny's heart. Granny, these are your most treasured dowry ornaments. I've never seen you wear them more than a few times since I was little. Are you sure you can part with them? Shuo Yu asked his grandmother curiously, looking at the precious set of jewelry. Silly boy, what's there to be able or unable to part with? When Granny's gone, won't all these things still be yours anyway? Giving them to you now also makes this old lady look quite generous, doesn't it? And it'll make your daughter-in-law feel that her flash marriage into our family wasn't with some stingy folks. Old Mrs. Shuo said with a chuckle. Her only grandson had married a wife, so she was naturally overjoyed. What was a little jewelry? As long as she was willing, what harm was there in giving her everything? Shuo Yu. Granny, what are you saying? You'll definitely live to be 100. Your words are sweet, but now that you're married, you know what you need to do. You'll formally take over Yunshua Group tomorrow. I'll notify the board to hold a meeting tomorrow and announce your appointment. Old Mrs. Shuo said with satisfaction. And you should also work hard. You is already married. I don't need to say more about what you should do next, do I? If you can't find someone you like, Granny won't mind staying in the orchard a bit longer. Gu Yi quickly interjected. Granny, you don't need to go to the orchard anymore. I will definitely work as hard as you and bring you a granddaughter-in-law back as soon as possible. Gu Yi was grateful to old Mrs. Shuo, his great-aunt. He had grown up eating and living with Shuo Yu, and whatever Shuo Yu had, he had too. During the days when he missed his parents' love, he spent a happy childhood in Orange Orchard. So, he regarded this great-aunt as his own grandmother. Orange Orchard. Good. Then Granny will wait. Next time you bring a wife back, Granny will also give her a welcome gift. Seeing her once little boy grow into an adult, old Mrs. Shuo felt immense satisfaction. After lunch, Shuo Yu returned to Lu Jinxing's Jinyun Houding. Lu Jinxing's Jinyun Houding. Cheng Shuwen had already gone back to the Lu family villa. Lu family villa. And Lu Jinxing was curled up alone on the living room sofa, browsing various job search websites. Hearing the sound of the door opening, Lu Jinxing knew it must be Shuo Yu. Her heart suddenly quickened, feeling like a devoted wife at home, eagerly awaiting her husband's return. Shuo Yu entered and said to Lu Jinxing, Xing, I'm back. This is a gift from Grandma. With that, he handed her a delicate jewelry box. A delicate jewelry box. Lu Jinxing took the exquisite jewelry box with some surprise and asked, Your grandma's gift to me? She hasn't even met me yet, so why give me a gift? Maybe she heard we registered our marriage, so she was happy and sent a gift. Lu Jinxing carefully opened the jewelry box, and the glass-grade, vibrant green jadeite bangle and a jadeite necklace inside instantly made her eyes light up. This should be the highest quality glass-grade jadeite jewelry she had ever seen. Its transparency was extremely high, full of luster, and it was entirely green, truly beautiful. Such quality was incredibly rare and precious. She held the bangle and looked at it for a long time, finally putting it back perfectly. Shuo Yu, your grandma's gift is too precious. I don't think I can take it. Lu Jinxing thought. Shuo Yu's family background was ordinary, and his grandmother had raised him alone through untold hardships. She must have suffered a lot. She could have pawned such precious items for money to make life less difficult back then. But the old lady had preserved the items until now, indicating that they must be extremely important to her. Perhaps they were family heirlooms. As a granddaughter-in-law by flash marriage, and having not even met her yet, how could she possibly accept such a precious gift? She felt that Shuo Yu's grandmother must be a truly remarkable old lady, and a deep respect naturally arose within her. So she handed the jewelry box back to Shuo Yu, who was sitting next to her. She said, "Shuo Yu, Grandma's gift is really too valuable. Such precious items must be her dowry or family heirlooms. I really can't accept it. The next time you visit Grandma, please help me return it to her." Shuo Yu looked at her and said, "If Grandma gave it to you, just accept it." She said it's her heartfelt wish. If you really don't want to accept it, then you can return it to her yourself. Other girls would have joyfully accepted such a valuable gift. But Lu Jinxing thought that this must be something Grandma cherished deeply and insisted on refusing it. The girl he liked was indeed good. Shuo Yu thought to himself, feeling pleased. "All right then, but take me with you next time you visit Grandma. Your grandma is really kind," Lu Jinxing said with a touch of envy. Unlike the old lady in her own family who favored sons over daughters, she looked at her like an enemy, as if she owed their Qin family billions. Because she was a girl, Grandma always cursed her as a money pit. Because she was a girl, her mother was also constantly subjected to various venomous curses and abuses. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but shiver. She suddenly turned to Shuo Yu and asked, "Does your grandma favor sons over daughters?" Huh? Shuo Yu was taken aback by her sudden question, but he immediately reacted, "Silly, do you think all grandmas in the world favor sons over daughters? Let me tell you, my grandma used to really want to have a daughter. When that didn't happen, she then hoped for a granddaughter. But things still didn't turn out as she wished. So, don't worry, Grandma will definitely like you very much." Really? Lu Jinxing seemed to disbelieve Shuo Yu's words, perhaps because the role of a grandmother had left a psychological shadow on her since childhood. "Of course it's real. Would I lie to you?" Shuo Yu smiled and reached out to touch Lu Jinxing's head, but while his hand was still in midair, Lu Jinxing quickly shifted sideways, successfully moving out of his reach. "All right. This is the agreement we talked about earlier. I've added a few more clauses. Take a look. If there are no issues, just sign it as a supplement." "I've already signed it." To ease the awkwardness, Lu Jinxing immediately pulled out the newly prepared agreement from the coffee table drawer. The newly prepared agreement from the coffee table drawer. "Shuoyun, a supplementary agreement? The verbal one doesn't count? Is she serious?" Shuoyun took the two printed A4 papers. His face darkened. They were densely packed, filling an entire page. He glanced at it, a full 9 clauses. The two printed A4 papers. Now, all he felt was regret, nothing but regret. Why did he agree to sign an agreement back then? They'd already gotten their marriage certificate. He didn't have to agree at all. He also blamed himself for being aloof and arrogant back then. It served him right. Shuoyun took the agreement and read it carefully. How did she come up with all these clauses? Not only were they glaring, but they were also deeply hurtful. For example, this clause. When the two interact normally, they must maintain a safety distance of at least 1 meter. First, they couldn't sleep in the same room, and now they couldn't even get close. There was also a clause stating that if the woman initiated the divorce, she would pay the man 1 million as compensation for his contributions during the marriage. Shuoyun wanted to burst into tears just reading those 2 clauses. Although he couldn't be entirely sure yet that he had fallen in love with his flash-married wife, one thing he was certain of was that he wanted to be with her. He liked being with her. What difference would such an agreement make from her directly shutting him out of the door? What should he do now? His mind raced. Suddenly, he asked, "Xinger, can I add another clause?" Lu Jinxing looked up at him and said, "Add it if you want. I don't mind." "Great. So I'll write it in by hand." Shuoyun's heart blossomed with joy at the permission. He had to think carefully about how to exploit a loophole in those 9 clauses to make himself a husband in name and in reality. Go ahead and write." Lu Jinxing no longer looked at him, instead continuing to browse her job recruitment website. The company where she interned had indeed called her to offer her a position. However, she didn't quite like that Phoenix man superior. When she first started her internship, that superior knew she was a local from Chongqing and came from a decent family, so he constantly tried to curry favor with her. After she ignored him multiple times, he began to make things difficult for Lu Jinxing at work and turned his attention to other local girls. So, when Shuoyun said he wanted to flash marry her, she thought she was unlucky enough to encounter another Phoenix man. For security, she then thought of signing an agreement. Fortunately, Shuoyun agreed very readily at the time. This also added another point to Lu Jinxing's impression of him. With a smile playing on his lips, Shuo Yu took out his pen and seriously wrote, Clause 10. The male party may reasonably request the female party to cooperate in any matter, provided it does not violate the aforementioned 9 clauses. His pen. After writing it, Shuo Yu boldly signed his name. Xing'er, I've signed it. Shuo Yu handed the signed agreement to Lu Jinxing. The signed agreement. Okay. Then from now on, let's strictly follow the agreement. Lu Jinxing took the agreement, glanced at it, and then clipped it into a folder. A folder? Shuo Yu looked at Lu Jinxing with great surprise. You don't object to the clause I added at the end? No, I don't. Didn't you write it very clearly? Lu Jinxing replied with a smile. Shuo Yu. Oh, right. Considering you're in the startup phase right now, I'll take care of all household expenses from now on. You just focus on taking care of yourself. If you need anything, tell me right away. Don't get involved with those dodgy private loans outside. Also, your car doesn't seem to be very good. Since you're starting a business, you're considered a boss, big or small. How about this? Later we'll go to a car dealership and I'll buy you a slightly better car, so you'll look a bit more presentable when you go out to talk business. Your car. And then I'll go to the mall to buy you a few outfits. You've retired and are back home now, so you should have some casual clothes and formal wear ready. Do you have time later? Shuo Yu's face darkened. Why did he feel like a kept man? He awkwardly declined. No need. My grandma will prepare all these things for me. How old are you? Still thinking of relying on your elders? Grandma must be at least 70 or 80, right? It's already great that she raised you from childhood. You should be showing filial piety to her now. Listen to me and do as I say. When we see suitable clothes, buy 2 sets for your grandma too. Lu Jinxing said, looking at Shuo Yu reprovingly. Shuo Yu's face showed helplessness, but his heart blossomed with joy. He actually met such a wonderful girl. It felt like winning the lottery. Okay, everything as my dear wife arranges. From now on, I'll definitely stop relying on my elders. I'll rely on my wife. Lu Jinxing gave him an eye roll upon hearing that. She didn't actually truly blame Shuo Yu for relying on his elders. She knew that since he had just retired and returned home, everything was essentially starting from scratch for him. His grandma would certainly not bear to see her grandson suffer, so she would naturally help him out to some extent. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but recall her own patriarchal grandmother. For over 20 years, her grandmother hadn't given her even a thread, had she? On the contrary, all the New Year's money she received from the Qin family relatives each year was taken away by her, not a single coin left. And she would maliciously say, a money-losing girl has the nerve to take money from my Qin family relatives? You take their money now, but later I'll be the one to return these favors. From now on, without my permission, you are not allowed to appear in front of our Qin family relatives again, making a spectacle of yourself. Xing'er, what are you thinking about? You're so lost in thought. Shun interrupted her memories from the side. She shook her head and said, nothing. Let's go to the 4S dealership now. See if they have any cars in stock. If they do, we can take the car after completing the procedures. If we have to order one, we'll have to wait a while to get the new car. The 4S dealership. Okay, you call the shots. Let's head out now. Shuo Yu replied, acting like he was taking orders from his boss. Arriving at the underground parking garage, Shuo Yu opened the passenger door, leaning over to shield Lu Jinxing as she got into the car. The underground parking garage. Lu Jinxing smiled, watching Shuo Yu lean over. Not bad. You're quite efficient. Keep up the good work. Shuo Yu grinned mischievously. Wifey is praising me. Go away. You're not allowed to call me wifey. Why not? The agreement doesn't have that clause, does it? Shuo Yu immediately brought up the agreement. Lu Jinxing rolled her eyes. I'm not used to that address yet. Just call me Xing'er for now. Not used to it yet? You'll get used to it after hearing it a few more times. No way. I forbid it. Lu Jinxing said domineeringly. This man was truly insufferable. If she didn't firmly reject him, who knew when he'd stop taking an inch and asking for a mile?